Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome to Footy Judgment. I had a howler in the title. I wrote what's next for Erik ten Hag, and I wrote that Forest secured second. I genuinely had a howler in the title of the video. But thank you, Andrew, for letting me know.
Having a stroke? You good?
I'm all right. I'm good. It's too long. It is Eid. It is, it's just a lot. Happy Eid to everyone in the chat. Big up everybody that is watching us now. And if you're watching this on the replay, hit that like button, people. Man United lose again. It's not new, to be honest with you guys. It is something that was predicted by Manchester United against a better team in Nottingham Forest. Anthony Elanga scoring a goal, not celebrating against Man United. Garnacho had a stinker of a game, like one of the worst games I've watched in my life from a football player at a top club. While Arsenal, on the other hand, a lot of Gooners are not happy because Gabriel got injured, and they think that the game against Madrid is over. This is a squad. Saka's back. Be happy. He scored within 7 minutes. Nottingham Forest basically played their football 1-1-0 as much as they played against City. These games are turning to be an easy game for Nottingham Forest. They are here to stay. To be honest with you, hit the like button, people. If you are here, we're going to join by Dayo. We're joined by someone who is first time on the channel, who's from Wolfie's channel, First Fan TV. Of course, Ed is here. Of course, he was at the game and he said it was freezing. It's very strange, that. When you go to your game and the first thing you come back and say, by the way, Mo, it was freezing. You didn't talk about the game. You was like, it was freezing. That is your first note about the game.
Well, I think that highlights the only problem I had going into this game was the overconfidence in the Forest fan base. I think nobody was putting us down to do anything less than get the 3 points tonight. And it turned out to be a comfortable result. Bear in mind, actually, I must admit, I left a couple of minutes before the end, so I didn't see the goal line clearance. So that would have made it a little bit more, squeaky bum time. But to be honest, it was comfortable for us. And it was exactly the game that most Forest fans expected to see. We get the early goal and that's it. You're not coming back into it. And the amount of times we've done it this season, I've lost count. I think it's about 26 or 27 times this season where Forest have taken the lead in a game. That's a remarkable record, and that just goes to show Nuno's game plan, and it worked to a T again today. And I'm sorry, but United just didn't really pose a threat at all. You talk about Garnacho, he wasn't the only one missing. There was a lot of their players were missing today. And I'm sure the boys will give you a bit more of an insight into that. But yeah, it was as easy as it can be for us this season. And our home record, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, you're one of the best teams, of course. Before we go to the Arsenal game, Man United. Why do you take Ahmed about the game? You still hammer him out?
Always hammer him out. Yeah. I've made my mind up here. Usually with me, when I make a decision about a manager, there's no way he can win me over in it. I've seen too many cracks, too many red flags, too many inconsistencies when it comes to certain players being subbed on, certain players being subbed out. Football's not good enough. We're out of the Carabao Cup, out of the FA Cup, 13th in the league. We haven't got 2 back-to-back wins in the Premier League. We're sat 14th with a minus goal difference. We're going backwards. He's not really improving players. We look disjointed. I don't see why people should be giving him a free pass. His whole time at Man United has been nothing short of a failure, if we're being honest. New manager or not, it's not good enough. I've seen Motta get sacked at Juventus while being 5th. I've seen other managers get sacked for way worse. I mean, sorry, for much better things that they've done. And yeah, bro.
For much less.
Much less, sorry.
Yeah.
Much less. Yeah. This has been a long day, innit? Yeah. Much less, innit? Yeah, much less. So at the end of the day, yeah, that's honestly my take.
I wanna actually, Cam, quick couple of words about the game. I know we're gonna come to Man United.
Well, okay. Yeah. So you're asking me?
Yeah, a couple of words about the game before we go to Arsenal and talk about the Gabriel and all this stuff.
It is what it is, man. We were like, I didn't think we were gonna win, and at the end of the day, I'll say this: you can have it one way or the other. For a long time, a lot of fans were crying out, results aren't good enough. We need performances. Everybody said, hey, if Erik ten Hag just stuck to a style, played a certain way, we would have been okay with the losses because we would have saw progress through play, which Amorim's doing. So I'm not mad. We look like anybody who watched the game and said we were bad. That's just agenda based. Like we were good. Like Forest, I'm not taking nothing away from them. They played their game. They do exactly what they did. They on the counter. They were great on it. They're strong. That's how they played. They won the game fair and square. But that's not how we're going to play moving forward. And we were on the front foot for most of the game. We created a shit ton of chances. We just got nobody to finish anything. Like at the end of the day, it would have been great to see, if Maguire had the wherewithal to just kind of tap it to Højlund. But I get it. You're scrambling. There's so many good chances we had in the game, and it is what it is. I'm not mad because the performances are clearly better at this stage. Like you see them happening. They're getting better and better as we go. Let's get to the summer. You've heard me say, let's get to the summer, man. We need to get to the summer. Get some new, we know we're getting rid of everybody. So it'll be interesting to see who we come in and how the system looks, but I'm looking forward to that because we're looking better. Like today, I can't say we played bad. I can't come up here and be like, I'm pissed we lost, but I cannot say we played bad. Like
we're not talking about Man United yet, Staffy.
No,
we're not talking yet. We're not.
They didn't say anything. We're quiet.
I know we're not talking about it, right? But I've got to say something about Ahmed, right? When Amorim came, first of all, remember all the shit he gave to Ten Hag, right? And when Amorim came, and all how these United fans were talking about, was it Balenciaga? What was he wearing? What was the jacket he was wearing?
Here we go with the fucking Moncler no more.
Moncler nonsense and he's sitting in a Maybach and all that nonsense. And then all of a sudden now he's got to go. See, this is my problem with someone like Ahmed, right? Ahmed has run his mouth so much. And he runs his mouth so much, and then reality comes back and bites him in the ass. Now he's talking about he wants Ten Hag, he wants Amorim out. This is why you should have humility, my friend. Have some humility.
Mo, please. I have some.
I want to start with Arsenal because the United belong. The United Forest will be long.
Yeah. I'm going to answer them all later.
What I want to say,
the United thing will be long. So we just want to start with Man United.
But I want to say,
what
I want to say is not about the game, Mo. I just want to say, why is there a United fan who is 13th position on it? Like, why am I at the bottom here and United is at above? What are we doing?
That's true.
What are we doing?
That's true.
Like, this is the only reason why that's all I want to say.
Yo, I thought we were cool, dude. I thought we were cool.
No, we're cool. But right now we got to go by hierarchy, right? I ain't winning the league. The least I can do is at least brag about me.
Taking the top shelf, that's right.
Yeah, man. Hey, why not? Well, I'm messing around, man.
No, I just want to know, will Man United finish in positive goal difference this year? Because that was the challenge I put at the start.
You know what makes me laugh here? It's like how they're looking. you'd think they support Madrid, didn't you? But they're gonna go this season
Okay.
trophyless with the way their
Okay.
chest is coming out. I
Get-
swear to you,
get-
I'd
Get
think
big,
about
brother,
it.
get a big brother to fight your battles.
No one's fighting my battles. I
Get
fight
big brother to, I said,
I fight my own battles, bro. You get what I'm saying?
will United
I fight my own
finish
battles.
on a positive goal difference? We can talk about that later. I think we have a full-on 30-minute.
Just the context for the people that don't know. Ahmed, after they finished last season, said that this season they're going to finish on a positive goal difference. That was the target.
Okay.
I mean, that's
Just
not
to let
like,
you guys, just to let everyone know.
That's not an outrageous take where he gets cooked.
pretty
for.
normal.
How dare you predict?
I don't agree with a lot of
positive
things.
goal
I
difference,
said-
bro?
The problem is he cooked everyone, and he said that Man United will finish on a positive goal difference.
I mean,
This is
okay,
what he said.
how
The problem is that
That was a
Ahmed
bad
cooks
take.
everyone.
the take
That was
is
my-
good. It's not a bad take. I'll say that. But how it came
No.
out is on you guys. You guys deal with that. I
No.
don't-
I said that was. Your
I
stretch
don't mind
goal.
taking the smoke, bro. Like
I said that was your stretch goal. You know, aim for the stars and reach for the moon. And right now, it's not happening.
Anyway, I want to go to Arsenal first, guys. Hit that like button if you're here now. Subscribe to the
Okay.
channel if you're new. About the Arsenal game, couple of super chats to do before we go on. AMT saying, don't think it's Amorim. Most of the players are crap. I actually were gonna side with Staffy today about this, to be honest with you.
Could have saved it for later when we talk about it.
Yeah.
Look at what Fergie's mighty Reds have become. Rest in peace. That's a Man City fan. That's a Man City fan. It has become like to an absolute.
Don't listen. What's his name? Khairi? Khairi, don't laugh too much. You're gonna lose to them in the FA Cup next round. You're losing to
never
that St.
know.
Forest team.
You never know. You never know.
Oh, I know.
You never know. I promise you never know. But big up everybody that is here. Arsenal, though. Lots of people are crying about the Gabriel injury as it's the end of the world.
Yeah, I'll cry about that.
Bro, the amount of people that are crying, and I get it. Gabriel, one of the guys, this is the chance against Real Madrid is Gabriel and everything. But Bukayo Saka's back. They can't catch a break. I thought the performance was a little bit slow, but it was good enough. But at the same time, I have to say that second gear Arsenal were ready to just win against Fulham. That is the thing. Like, actually, I'm going to take more positives from this game than negatives for Arsenal if I'm watching Arsenal. Because having a second gear performance like this and winning against Fulham is not easy. Not everyone can say that. A lot of people I expected Fulham to take something out of this game. I expected Arsenal not to be focused. I expected Arsenal not to be focused in the game. But listen, they were focused. They scored. Martinelli had a great game and a brilliant game. And there's a lot of positives. Saka's back. Nonir is here. The Moreno scored, proving people wrong. And that is my take on the game, to be honest. Arteta had a good game plan. Like, people are crying. I don't know why. Why are people crying?
How serious is the Gabriel injury? Obviously, I would have
We don't fully know yet. We don't fully know yet. I think
You wouldn't know till tomorrow because obviously he was able to walk off, but a hamstring injury can be a strain, it could be a tear.
because we lost Ola Aina. I think it was towards the end of the first half as well, and obviously he's been, in my opinion, the best right back in the league this season. So we've lost a key player as well. How serious that's going to be, and how much of an impact it will play for us for the rest of the
Can
season.
I tell you the difference between
you
the?
don't got Madrid
I'm-
next. That's the
I'm
difference.
gonna tell you the
but
difference
you've
between
got
Ola
his name,
Aina. The difference between Ola Aina and Gabriel is that Ola Aina, if your calf is ruptured, it is ruptured, it's gone. You feel a tennis ball. I've had this injury. If your hamstring is pulled, it can be a first degree, it can be 2 weeks, it can be a week and a half, or if it's a second degree. The fact that he was walking on it, for the people that played football, if it's a third degree injury, there's no walking on it. It's gone. It's torn. You can walk on it.
Yeah. The speed he walked off at, and this is weird me saying that, but the speed he walked off at, as someone who has pulled like hamstrings in the past, makes me think that it's not as serious as a tear. If he tore the hamstring, which is what happened to Saka, then that'll be more of a problem. That's a 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is. So you just hope that it was just a pulled hamstring. He probably misses the first game and might be back for the second game. But they'll do scans tomorrow and they'll find out.
Like I only saw the highlights, but you always worry when you see the player pull the shirt over the face as they're walking off, and it's kind of like obviously
It is painful.
No.
It is painful.
Yeah,
it is very painful. Pulling your hamstring is very painful. But
And
there
then,
are a lot, the thing about it, there's a lot of positives in this game. Martinelli had a brilliant game.
Yeah, someone said he's finally found his Brazilian passport.
Yeah, he had a brilliant game, Martinelli. I know that the Man United fans were watching the Man United game, but Martinelli had a brilliant game on that left side.
Yeah, but he was direct. And surprisingly, a lot of the runs he was making with the ball actually worked. Because a lot of the times, what Martinelli does is he just sort of runs into like nowhere with the ball, right? And I think today he actually looked like he has some purpose. He was doing somewhat the right things. He scored that offside goal, which was a good finish as well, which should be good for his confidence. Look, Martinelli is one of those players that, again, like I said, remember what I said about the PSV game when it was 7-1, and I said, I don't know what to take from it. I'm going to say something with Martinelli because he sometimes like flatters to deceive. You'd think that he's back to some sort of level of performance, but you never know what's going to happen in the next game. So next, see if the freedom, I don't know. Let's see if the next two games, like obviously the Everton game and the Real Madrid game, he's able to sort of keep that performance.
You know
up.
I'll be happy
with that.
You know the problem about the Martinelli having a good game? If Martinelli had a good end of the season, you'll see Arsenal fans doing exactly what happened to Kai Havertz, which is he's back to his best. We don't want another one on the left. Let's focus on the midfield and the striker. You know that happens all the time with football fans. When a player is having a bad season and they end the season very well, and people say we don't need that. To be honest with you, like, oh my God, he's very good, and that's what I'm taking. By the way, there is Joe. We have no idea where Ben White is. Nobody in the world, other than the Arsenal coaching staff, know where Ben White is. There are no news about it.
He's in a spray tanning salon. That's what it's there. It's just getting
like seriously. I don't know where Ben White is. I have no idea where he is. But Arsenal can't catch a break. Arsenal can't catch a break.
Also, the Timber, because I think some people were saying like, what happened to Timber? I think what he had was an impact injury where he got hit on his knee with the studs. So again, the reason why he played on is most likely they said just run it off, which anyone who's been hitting on a joint, most times when you run it off, the pain goes away. And obviously he felt more pain and it went down. So I think he'll be fine.
I don't know what, like if Ben White is back, problem is solved. That one of the things that I watched in the Arsenal game today is Lewis Kelly is not a good defender in positioning. You guys notice that? He got beat twice at the end of the game, and he is not a good defender. And I fear for that left side, to be honest. Of Dayo, can you move your camera a little bit? We're watching half your face.
It's because I got my baby. Because I got my baby here. She's loud, and I don't want her to. So that's
no, it's all right.
It's
okay. It's okay. But listen, for Arsenal against Real Madrid, I actually don't think it's a full-on conclusion. People keep saying that, Arsenal already lost to Real. Anybody here think that Arsenal have a chance in Real Madrid or no?
With no Gabriel.
Not a chance, bro.
I think the only way they had a chance is if they were very, very good defensively. That's the only chance I gave them. Where if your back line shuts down that front line, with no Gabriel, nah.
It's the Champions League, man. They got a chance.
Everyone has a chance to win.
They got a chance to. Well, a lot of people are just being hyperbolic with it, saying they've got no chance. It's impossible. Like realistically,
no, I gave them a chance before this.
Real Madrid's not the best version of of themselves at the end of the day this year. So this is it. If you're going to
without Gabriel now, I'm sorry. There's no way. You're telling me no Kivio is going to go against Mbappe, Vinny, and Rodrigo.
You have Timber still, don't you? Like he's not for sure
on one of the sides, probably.
Yeah, but also like they went night and day with Real Sociedad today, which means that it shows they're not invincible, right? Like
they're not.
But
it is a Champions League in Real Madrid, so that's why.
Yeah, no, but listen, the greatest thing Florentino Perez has ever done was to create this mythical sort of aura about Real Madrid, right? This sort of Galacticos that we wear the whites and the handkerchiefs and so forth. In the end, it's still 11 men. It's still a pitch. You still go out there. You still have to perform.
Anyone can win a football game, of course. That's not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm thinking.
What I am saying is, I think, first of all, Gabriel is your best defender. I rate Saliba, but I think Gabriel is your best defender. At least this season, with the way he's performing, I think he's your best defender. When I'm putting that and saying he's not going to play next game, and you're playing against Madrid, I mean, the saving grace is that you're at home. If you were at the Bernabeu the first game with no Gabriel, it would have been a lot worse. But I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the quality that they have up front, and I'm saying they don't have their best defender. They're going against the three that I just named. What are the odds that they're going to win? Mind you, these guys turn up somehow I don't know if they do some black magic in the locker room at halftime. I don't know what they do. They always find a way to go and win a game when they're not supposed to. I'm putting all that together. Sorry when I say I don't really give you guys much of a chance. That's more, by the way, that's more respect to how good Gabriel is than it is disrespect to Arsenal.
All we need is a little chance. That's all we need. Just
Of
a
course.
small little chance, and that's all. You hold on.
I mean, you got
hold on
Saka
to that
back,
little
so there you
chance.
go.
You hold on to that little chance. That's all you need.
Would you play Moreno up top or do you play Trossard up top?
Don't put Trossard anywhere near the pitch.
You see, you have full trust in Moreno then.
I have more trust in Moreno than I have in Trossard, and that says a lot.
I think that is crazy, actually. I think Moreno's good, but he's not like a striker, to be honest. I think you have to play a forward player there. Bench Moreno.
Have you ever seen Trossard try to hold the ball up? It's
But you're not gonna do this. You're gonna change the way you play. You're gonna play. You should play on transition. That's the best way to beat Real Madrid.
I'm talking too much right now, right? I'm talking too much right now. But let me just say this very quickly. If in theory we have less of the ball than Real Madrid, right, at home, which is more like is a high theory that can happen. The one thing you don't want to do is have a player who will lose the ball every time the ball gets to him. There is no. He's very weak. He's not the most skillful player, and to be honest, he loses the ball.
And Moreno's not great in holding the ball as well. Like you're making it as Moreno.
I'd rather you can lump the ball up front and he wins the header.
So lump the ball up
at least he
front.
can touch it.
Lumping the ball up front.
Mo, another thing you have to realize again is this. See, at the end of the day, either of them are not.
Dayo got rid of the baby real quick. What happened there?
No, my wife got back and she was tending to her garden. She was tending to her garden. So now,
He just shoved the baby away.
They're
talking about my team. Time to talk now.
So here's my thing, though. I hear this whole we don't have a chance against Madrid. But football is football, man. And I'm old enough to have seen us play Madrid 3 times. I'm old enough to have seen that. And we played the Galacticos. We played one of the strongest Madrid teams ever. Everybody's going to say, oh, you guys had Thierry Henry. They had R9. They had Beckham. They had Guti. They had Roberto Carlos. They had Robinho in his prime. They had players that could destroy us overnight. And at the end of the day, we went through. So is it impossible that Arsenal could stand a chance? It's not. In football, there's always a chance. We saw Real Sociedad do something today. So let's not make it sound like, oh, it's impossible. Is it probable? No, I don't think so. They have a better squad, a better team, right? Which we can all agree to. But all it takes is 90 minutes and doing the right things. You can come here and try and analyze every player based off what they've done in the past. I heard people say to me, Bukayo Saka comes back today and plays today. He's going to need time to catch up. He came in today. He played at an easy pace and scored a goal. He didn't play at gear 5 or gear 10 and scored a goal. So the point is, it's football, man. At the end of the day, you want reliable players on the pitch who, when they see a chance, take that chance. When they see a chance to defend well. Who can position themselves well. Who can do what they need to do to make sure that they get it over the line. That's what you need in every game right now, especially when you can't catch a break. That's all you genuinely need as a team. You can't go out there and try and depend on one person.
No, it takes a 1-0 win to Arsenal or 2-1 win to Arsenal at the Emirates. And now the game is wide open.
That's what I'm saying.
Arsenal can go there and defend their way into a 1-goal loss or a draw. Like people are making it out as an impossible comeback or something. Like Arsenal already lost. Like Arsenal already lost. Like people are making it as Arsenal already lost 3-0. And they have to come back.
I think the reason why it's also a very again, if everybody had their best squad available to them, Madrid wins this game easily. If you want to go by the books, if we just want to go by, let's just go by. Madrid has all their players, no injuries. Arsenal has all their players, no injuries. Madrid wins. But there's no question asked if you go by the books. But football does not work that way. 2 + 2 is not 4 all the time in football. We've seen it many a times. We've seen it many a time. So my thing is, again, in knockout tournaments like this, all you have to do is play to your strength and play to their weakness. If the same Real Madrid that everybody is making so much noise about, a lot of their young players are also not superly, like, overly experienced. Like, it's not if they've had 10 years. Like, they have some players on the squad, but Jude Bellingham, these are amazing, talented players. But they are not invincible right now. This is not the same Madrid that we know. They have Mbappe, amazing player. But we saw Mbappe at the beginning of the season with Madrid. We saw Madrid fans screaming, get rid of him. why did you bring him to our club? All of a sudden, he's picked up now. Oh, Mbappe, if he has a bad game, just one bad game, and it's not impossible for good players to have bad games, or he might have an amazing game and they beat Arsenal 6-0. It's not impossible. So, my thing is this idea that, it's over. I just know that, what I have seen with history, every single time I've had to play them, it's never been, lopsided. We've never
You trust your backline with no Gabriel, Dayo, because we're saying all this.
It
But
makes
I feel
it
like we're
harder.
dismissing it.
It makes it harder. It makes it way, way harder. I think Gabriel and Saliba complement each other 100%. That's what I think. I think that both of them together, because one is aggressive, one is a lot calmer. Most people say Gabriel is the better defender. I think there's a complementation there. If you take one of them out, either or, the other looks a little weak. That's what I've seen, and that's what I've noticed.
I think Saliba needs Gabriel more than Gabriel needs Saliba.
Well, it's in every. I think in different situations. There's certain situations where I would rather Saliba is one tackling. But I would rather Gabriel don't make that tackle because I know what's going to happen. So during the game, it's not about who needs one or the other more. I think that there's situations in games where presents itself where you prefer to have this person actually be the one to cover. So yeah, I think they complement each other. It's going to be hard now that we have Gabriel out. But again, like I said about Mikel Arteta, as you lay your bed, you lie in it. You spent money on defenders, figure out how to make the ones you have now work. You use Marino as an attacker. It's been working for you. I hear people criticizing, but I'm like, hey, he found a solution to keep on winning one way or the other. That shows you a sign of a manager that is a bit at least dynamic.
Listen, at the end of the day, Arsenal got every chance of getting a result in that first leg. And he's got to approach both games differently. You can't have that same mentality, which is what I saw from Liverpool against PSG. They played the same way. They got away with it in that away leg, and they came away with 1-0 win. And they went with that same mentality, same tactics going into that second leg, and PSG overran them. Now, Arsenal have to approach both of these games differently. Obviously, losing Gabriel is huge, not only defensively, but as an attacking threat. Their set pieces, how many goals has he scored, how many chances has he created from that position? That's going to be a huge miss. But if Arsenal can get anything out of this first leg to take to the Bernabeu, you got every chance. To write them off totally without a ball being kicked is just horrendous.
And having your best players available gives your team more confidence. Like when Gabriel is at the back, midfielders feel a lot more secure in certain things that they will try to do, knowing fully well that Gabriel is there. If it's Kirill, then there's a little more caution. I noticed today, if you notice when Kirill came on board, if you notice the passes, you would see Saliba take the ball and try to find Skelly all the time, literally just bypassing Kirill. Like he wasn't even playing the 1-2 that he normally played with Gabriel, and because Gabriel wasn't there. So having your best players, yes, will give you a lot more confidence. Saka coming back, I think, is a good thing for us. Huge. Saka coming back is a good thing for us. I'm happy he's back. Not necessarily because I think he's going to be some wild factor or anything. I just like the fact that at least he's no longer injured, and he's back playing, which is a good thing. You want your best players to be available. So let's wait and see. It's Champions League. We've seen crazier things happen before. So yeah.
I want to hear from
Joe.
Ahmed, man.
Was White's omission on April Fool's joke from Mikel Arteta? Was White's omission an April Fool joke from? I don't understand this comment.
He's just joking around.
Yeah, Joe, I don't understand this comment, to be honest.
Give it up, Joe. Give it up.
What I hear from Ahmed. Ahmed is muted, actually.
That's the best
Can you hear me? You can. This mic is so shit, man. Anyway, sorry.
It's good. It's great. It's good.
Oh, okay.
Mic sounds fine. You were just muted.
Right. Okay. So this. Now I'm just gonna say, like, I pretty much heard what the Arsenal fans were saying. Like, oh, it's a chance. History says this. We beat them back in the day. But all I'm hearing is just hope. Like, I'm not hearing any context to it. Like, everything that Arsenal, all of Madrid's strengths here is literally Arsenal's weakness. Like, think about it. Knockout tournaments, they don't excel in that. Defensively, Madrid face Atletico Madrid for breakfast, and that's a flipping difficult team to break down non-stop, right? We know how Simeone plays football, right? So they can play 5 at the back, But the thing is, with Atletico Madrid, the reason why they can capitalize every now and then against Madrid, got Griezmann, Julian Alvarez, players who can do something out of nothing. Now, if Arsenal approach this by being defensively secure, that door's going to get unlocked because Madrid will carry on pushing with the attacking threat that they have. And even if you hit them in the counter attack, they've got players like Rudiger, big game player. He's locked off Haaland in big games against Man City. They've got good fullbacks. They've got Valverde, who's defensively sound. They've got Camavinga, who's one of the better midfielders that they have in the midfield. They've got Vinny, who can do something out of nothing. Rodrigo is playing out of position, and he's still cooking on the right-hand side. Mbappe started off slow, but we know that Mbappe and Vinny can do something in Champions League. Like, I don't really see anything that Arsenal can do in this tournament, even against two legs. Like, I'm not saying Madrid are going to smoke them, yeah, but they haven't got a single chance, like, in this tie.
So Arsenal shouldn't play the game, cancel the game, refund the money to the fans.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen, innit? I mean, not what I think. Like, I'm convinced this is what's going to happen. So
I listen. I hear all that, and to some extent, I think you're kind of right, but I also think you're wrong.
Where am I wrong?
Well, first of all, so what's the first thing you said, which made me laugh, which was I've totally forgotten what it is. Dang. It was a really good point as well.
You want to just a point that you don't remember?
I know, I can't remember. It was a great point as well. What was the first thing you said, Ahmed?
Can I help you with what he said? Because I listened thoroughly and I actually took notes because he always waffles. So he said I take notes because Ahmed likes to yarn a lot of
But before Dayo goes, guys, can we get the likes up a little bit? You guys are really slacking and hitting the like. Hit that like button, people. Come on now. Let's get the likes up, people. Come on.
Let me start by saying the first thing he said, just to refresh your memory, he said, like all of Madrid's strength is Arsenal's weaknesses. So yeah, that was the exact statement he made.
Then he said it was the Atletico Madrid thing.
When he used Atletico as an example. Meanwhile, Atletico this season, as defensive as they've been against Madrid, have beat Madrid literally this season because of their defensive power.
They just beat them in the Champions League 1-0.
With their defensive powers, they did that. Like, so my point is, like,
and Madrid didn't break the low block, as Ahmed said.
Yeah, you say a lot of things that it's almost like you don't do the research or the fact.
Atletico Madrid are a much harder team to break down than Arsenal.
Nobody's saying nothing. You just said,
to be honest with you, Arsenal players are better than Atletico Madrid players at the back. You can't name 3 players at the back line of Real Madrid. Name me 3 players. Name me 3 players at the back line of Atletico Madrid, Ahmed. Name me 3 players.
They've got Llorente. Bro, they got Llorente, they got Jimenez, they got Simeone's son as well that plays as a fullback. Okay,
I said the back line. Simeone's son is not a fullback. He's a right winger. He's a right winger. Go ahead.
Mention the back line that Atletico plays. That you're like, this is the best back line.
Like, this is the back line that Atletico plays. We can name the Madrid back line. People can name the Barcelona back. People can name the Forest back line. You said Atletico Madrid are better. Name the back line of Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid are much harder to break down as a team, bro. Like, they put every. Not because of, like, I'm not talking about individual players. I said to you, as a team, you can have the better individual players. Wait, hold on. You can have, wait a second. You can have the better individual players, but, bro, midfield-wise, defense-wise, they've literally got 11 players or 10 players behind it. So they've got Llorente, they've got Simeone, they've got Jimenez who stays there. Okay, as well.
We answer this question honestly. In this year's Champions League, right? With the system that was deployed.
I just named you their back line as well.
I'm about to ask you a question, please. Olu, let me ask this question, please. I beg you. In this year's Champions League, with what UEFA deployed the league style and now in the knockout stages, what team has the best defensive record and has conceded the least goals?
In Europe?
No. I didn't say in Europe. I said specifically in the Champions League. I'm not talking about Europe. I'm saying specifically in the Champions League, this Champions League that we're talking about right now.
When you're asking me about stats and clean sheets, I'm not gonna know.
No, because you said hold on.
I don't pay attention to that. I just watch the games.
Listen, because you said Atletico defend as a team and they're harder.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm saying in this Champions League so far, what team has defended best as a team, conceded the least goals, regardless? What team?
How am I supposed to know? Have I watched every single Atletico? Have I seen every Champions League game?
Well, you made a
sweeping statement about Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid so far, in what I've seen of them in the Champions League, they defend well as a team. On the counter attack, they can hurt you as well. Midfield wise is compact. They've got Llorente, they've got Jimenez, they've got Longley, they've got even Koke.
Longley.
Bro, I'm not saying they're good. Listen, you're mistaken. You guys are talking about. You guys are talking about. Yeah, you guys are talking about
Now that you've
individual.
opened the tab up to
No,
get
I
the
asked
name.
you about other team. Ahmed,
Wallahi al-Azim, I've not got anything open.
Ahmed, I asked
Wallahi
you. Like,
al-Azim.
Ahmed, I asked you. I said, as a Olu, please hold on. Ahmed, I asked you. I said,
Wallahi, I don't have anything open. But
no. I said, Ahmed, I said, as a team, right? What team? I did not say what players. I said, what team in this current Champions League that we're in, where we're about to play a knockout stage to go to the semi-finals. What teams so far? What teams so far? Mention 3 teams that have played as a team and have been defensively.
PSG have played well as a team. Defensively, they were sound.
Defensively,
Real Madrid played well as a team,
considered the
and
least
Bayern
goals,
Munich played well as a team as well.
considered the least
And Liverpool.
goals and have defended the best in this.
PSG have defended
You're
well
never
as a
going to get
team.
the answer you're looking for because he doesn't believe in stats. They don't matter.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
mean absolutely nothing.
PSG have played
Doesn't
well as
matter
a
that
team.
Arsenal is actually probably the best defensive team. In the
It's
league.
Liverpool and Arsenal, and he's sitting here. Here's the thing that kills me.
I know
right?
the
It's not
answer.
about stats. It's not even about the stats. It's about you said you watch the games. So if you watch a game and
I've just
Arsenal
named you teams, yeah. I've just named you teams where they're defensively sound, and he's talking about who's got the most clean sheets and who's got the most stats. Like,
no,
what?
in this
Sorry,
Champions League, PSG has considered more goals than Arsenal. In this Champions League, Atletico has considered more goals than Arsenal. In this Champions League this season, hold on, I'm coming. Everybody you have mentioned right now, you said that who are more defensively sound have considered
Who
more.
have Arsenal played in the Champions League?
And I'm asking you again.
Who have they played?
Because you have.
You're talking about oh, we've not conceded the most. Who have you played? Who's
Who
the top
have we
level
played?
opposition you played?
Oh, we played the
Milan.
same PS. We played the same,
PSV.
we played the same PSG as well.
PSV.
PSV.
No, they
uh-huh.
played PSG.
PSV and who else?
We played PSG.
Milan,
that beat Liverpool.
And who else have you played?
No, hold on. The same PSG you said has a better defense. We played them.
And who else have you played?
Sporting.
Go on,
Sporting.
go on.
So you pretty much faced all the lower teams, barring PSG.
We played Inter.
Really?
We played Inter. Go on, speak. Now I want you to speak.
What was the scoreline against Inter? What was the scoreline?
It was
1-0.
1-0.
What was the scoreline? So you lost 1-0. Exactly. So you lost 1-0.
So what happened? Again,
Please stop. So you don't have to argue with this guy. You know why? This is the guy who said,
And there was no
Well,
Kvaratskhelia and no Dembele against PSG as well. So
Okay,
they've not faced any single, barring Inter, which they lost. They've not faced like a proper
Okay.
top team. And this is the
Right,
first
people-
team that they're facing, and they're talking about clean sheets.
Can you mention
Wait,
5
Dayo,
teams?
Dayo,
Hold on.
Dayo,
Atletico
no,
Madrid
no,
played against. Can you
wait,
mention the
wait,
toughest
wait.
teams Atletico played against?
Wait,
Outside
Madrid.
Madrid.
One.
Outside Madrid. Mention 4 other teams.
Real
Because you
Madrid.
have the coming PSG, Inter, and everybody. I want you to mention 4 other teams that Atletico played on their way
Bro.
to play Madrid. I want you to
Atletico
mention
Madrid.
the names of the teams. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be disingenuous.
No one's
Mention
doing
the
anything.
name of the teams that Atletico, that you call the strongest defensive team, played, that they played on their way to play in Madrid. Mention those teams.
Who? Atletico Madrid.
Yes, who did they
I've
play?
just told you. I've just told you that Atletico Madrid. Yeah, you're talking about.
Who did they
Arsenal-
play?
No.
Because your
No,
excuse.
because this guy's talking
Your
about.
excuse is, who did you guys play Arsenal?
No one's talking about that.
Who did Atletico play, Ahmed? Can you just answer the question?
No one's talking about Atletico
Oh,
Madrid.
no, you did. You said it for
Google
Arsenal.
it.
You gave
It's
that
your
concept
measuring
for
stick.
Arsenal.
It's literally what
It's
you
not
used to
your
beat them with. You
That's
literally said, who have Arsenal played? So now he's asking you the
Ask you,
same
who are
question.
Atletico
Who's
that you say have
Atletico
a
played?
defensive team?
The
You
only
brought it up.
team that I've seen Atletico Madrid play against twice was Real Madrid. I don't know who they've played.
So you don't know who-
And also, I've seen them. Yeah, you're talking about Champions League. I've seen them. I've seen them.
What game you've seen?
I've seen them as well. I've seen them as well play against Barcelona. I've seen them play against Real Madrid consistently, and they're still defensively, even though they
Can I
concede
tell you?
goals.
Can I tell you, Ahmed, something in this? Sorry, I'm gonna tell you something, Ahmed. You know, Atletico Madrid have kept 1 clean sheet, and it's against Sparta Braha. He got scored on in every single game they played.
It doesn't mean anything.
The Real Madrid, which is the team that will break Arsenal down, but the Real Madrid game that they played in the Bernabeu.
Just because a team is defensively sound, I've never said that it's impossible to break them down. I'm telling you that Atletico Madrid are very tough to break down, but I didn't say it's impossible for them to bag goals. I said to them defensively, they are more harder to break down than a Arsenal. I've seen Arsenal lose 4-0 on aggregate, whatever the scoreline was against Newcastle. I've seen them get knocked out by Sporting. I've seen them get cooked here by lower end teams. You cannot say that you have a better. Hold on, let me finish. You're saying, You're saying that Atletico Madrid, they conceded against Barcelona, they conceded against Real Madrid. They're playing higher opposition teams in the league. I'm not saying that they played more harder teams in the Champions League, but Atletico Madrid.
We're talking about Champions League here. Stop doing this nonsense, man. Stop this nonsense. You play Salzburg, you play RB Salzburg, and you're here sitting down telling me how defensive they are. Like, what are we doing?
Listen. Sometimes we just don't need to argue with Ahmed. This was the guy who said Rodrigo was the best player for Real Madrid, right?
How's that mad? How's that mad? You got said Saka is better than him. So again, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
He said he's done more than Saka. Then I looked at the stats and said, oh wait, Saka was injured for 3 months, has the same number of assists and goals as Rodrigo. Then he said, oh, actually his performances. Then I said, how many Real Madrid performances have you watched? And he said, about 8. And I was like, wait a minute. Why are you making just
I've watched loads of Madrid games this season to tell you that Rodrigo is by far a better attacker than any of you guys have.
You said
listen.
We're about.
No, but Mo, you know what it is there? They're using stats here to justify their argument.
No, they aren't.
They are.
Arsenal don't. Okay, I'm gonna ask Cam. I believe Cam and Staffy are very logical people. Do you guys see when is the last time you guys saw Arsenal getting smashed?
They don't. Like, this is the whole point of me saying, I said it early. They have a chance. I said it very calmly. Didn't really get into it because truthfully, I watch Arsenal week in and week out. I do watch Arsenal play football because it's the Prem. And Arsenal is annoyingly, their defense is solid. And Staffy's point is very true. That's with Gabriel. He is saying with Gabriel, like, they would have had a chance. Yeah. I'm saying I think regardless, because I've seen Arsenal be very astute this year. You can't break them down. Like, that's who they are. Yes, Raya had a patch where he started letting in a few goals that he shouldn't. But he does dumb shit like today where they were perfect all game and then he let in a goal and it didn't matter. So it's like if you're actually watching Arsenal play, I've seen that a few times from Raya too, where some of their goals, you're like, the game was done and he just stopped paying attention.
That was a deflection.
I don't think people...
No, but I'm saying...
Cam, you know the problem with the argument is, I don't think people understand. Jonathan here, for example, is saying, Europe, you cannot trust Arsenal ever. We're not sitting. None of us got here and said that Arsenal have a bigger chance.
I don't think they're going to win.
But for the fact that people say they have zero chance of winning, I think it's crazy. Actually.
No, but this is the thing. It's not that, and it's also, I don't agree with cross comparing like the leagues. It's like in the Champions League, in Europe, whatever competition you're in, that's how you're playing in that competition. That's your form in that competition. Yes, Real Madrid's pedigree is monstrous, and I do agree. Florentino Perez has made it so you go up against them, you think you're not going to win. It's just a mentality thing. It's like what United had fucking 20 years ago. But with this current year, it's not like Real Madrid is invincible. It's not like they're running through teams left, right, and center. They're showing leaks.
100%.
Arsenal get lucky in the first leg, hit the fuck back and see what happens. That's how they win. Like that doesn't happen. If they go down in the first leg, it's over. We all know that. If they do not win the first game, it's done.
But,
we all know that.
And also to add to that, I think on the defending thing, right? The one thing about Arsenal is that Arsenal actually defend as a team. It's less about one-on-one defending, right? And then the players sort of have to deal with problems themselves. It's more sort of getting into position, being more structured, right? And which is kind of the problem with Arsenal this season in terms of attacking. We're so structured now in terms of keeping the shape and keeping to attack to that Arteta ones that it seems to have stifled us in terms of being more expressive on the pitch. So when it comes to defending, don't get me wrong, taking Gabriel out of that and putting Kiwior is a disaster waiting to happen because that guy has brain farts all the time. But I think Arsenal's defending isn't just based on just the individuals. It's based on the team. And if the team decides, right, we're gonna be astute and strong in defending, I'm not saying we'll beat Real Madrid. I say we give Real Madrid a harder game than what people... Because when people talk about this game, they're talking like Real Madrid just go steamroll Arsenal.
They will steamroll you. They will steamroll you.
We will
Can
see.
I ask a genuine question, Ahmed, before I end this and we go to...
Yes.
Do you think Dortmund have a bigger chance against Barcelona than Arsenal have against Real Madrid?
Dortmund?
Do you think... Is the question again? Yes.
Yeah.
You think... Okay, let
Dortmund
me
have reached... Dortmund have... Dortmund...
One game of
Hold
Dortmund.
on. Let me rephrase the question for everyone that is joining. Let me rephrase the question so the people understand. Do you think the 12th team in the Bundesliga have a bigger chance against the first team in La Liga that
Yes.
beat Real Madrid 5 than the second team in the
Yes.
Premier League against the second team in La Liga.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Dortmund have a higher chance of reaching. Bro, they've reached the Champions League final. Yeah, they reached the Champions League final. They actually played better than Madrid. Hold on. Let me finish. You're saying about Arsenal are second in the league, whereas La Liga, whereas Bundesliga, they're so far below. At the Champions League, I've seen
I
Dortmund.
didn't say below. Dortmund are 12th in the Bundesliga.
Bro, they can be
12th.
15th. Yeah, they can be 15th. I've
And
seen them when
still
they were
have a higher
separate.
chance than Arsenal.
Are you saying Dortmund this year have a better chance than
Yes,
Arsenal?
he's saying this year.
Oh, he's saying, okay, this is the question, Staffy, again. Does Dortmund, who are 12th in the Bundesliga, have a bigger chance against the first team in La Liga, which is Barcelona, than the second team in the Premier League, which is Arsenal, against the second team in La Liga, which is Real Madrid? He said yes.
Yes.
Okay, let me say this.
Do it.
I think Arsenal have a very slim chance to beat Real Madrid. I don't think they'll beat them. I think their chance is very slim. I actually give Dortmund 0 chance to beat Barcelona. 0.
Bro, Dortmund literally reached a Champions League final, and in that final, anyone remembers? Hold on. No, but I'm not saying it's the same. I'm not saying it's the same team.
That's a yardstick. That's a yardstick.
I'm not saying it's the same team, but what I'm saying to you is that they literally, they missed their chances that game as well. They had the better chances.
Yeah, they played better than Madrid. I thought until Madrid scored, they probably should have took the lead.
But
that team doesn't have Hummels.
And no one said otherwise.
Doesn't have what's his name, Royce. Doesn't have Sancho. Who, let's be honest, he was a very good part of their Champions League campaign when he went on loan. Not even the coach was shit, and he's still better than what they did this year. They sacked Nuri Sahin a month or two ago. That team. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this right now. Whatever the score line between Madrid and Real Madrid is, Arsenal and Real Madrid is, double that, and that's gonna be what Barcelona do to Dortmund. I promise you.
Listen, the way he's thinking, he's thinking of, wait. He's thinking of this whole heritage thing, right? If that's the case, Red Star Belgrade have got a better chance of beating Real Madrid because they've won the Champions League 80 years or 30, 40 years ago than Arsenal.
Oh shit.
But you know what's mad to me is that these lot,
No, Staffy, what happened?
So wait, if you're reasoning for saying Dortmund stand a better chance against Barcelona, it's because they reached the Champions League final. I'm just going by your reasoning. I'm trying to understand it. It's because they reached the Champions League final and they played very well, even though they did not win. If you're going by that yardstick, so reaching the final, playing very well, is a yardstick, regardless of the fact that it's not the same exact team. The players are different right now. The manager is different as well, right? Regardless of the fact that has changed, that is a yardstick, right? Because the club itself made it to the final.
I also trust them more in knockouts as well.
You apply that same logic to Arsenal reaching the final against Barcelona, even though they did not win it, and they beat Real Madrid on their way to getting to the final, the only time Arsenal had ever gotten to the final, and played very well, except that Barcelona came in and did a madness in the second half and scored a goal. Would you apply that same logic? Because yes, it does. And if you give
how long, by the way, Mo, how long you have to go back, by the way. How long you have to go back.
That's not the point. The point is
that is the point. The guy went 20 years ago back.
I don't care how long it is. My point is, you just said you said a club that made it to the final, regardless of the fact that the manager is different, the players are different, and the club has an entirely new direction. Stands a better chance against a Barcelona who has a new manager as well, whose direction have changed and are balling out of their skin right now. Literally, Barcelona is going. If I had to pick a team to win the Champions League, I think I'd pick Barcelona right now, not Madrid. The way they're playing. You say Dortmund. Hold on. You say you're Dortmund. So if you want to sit here and use those yardsticks,
have they not won Champions League as well? Have they not won a Champions League, Dortmund?
Yes, 97. You weren't born yet.
I know, but I'm going by your logic. I'm going by your logic.
Red Star Belgrade have won a Champions League. Red
Star
Belgrade. Bucharest.
So what we're saying. So what we're saying, So what we're saying, right? What we're saying, because Arsenal are second in the Premier League, then bearing in mind they've not won a Champions League ever. We both know that in knockouts they're awful. Let's be honest, Against Sporting, against Newcastle, against Man United, a weak Man United side, under pressure they crumble. Not a single star player in their team. What do knockout tournaments need? A player that can do something out of nothing. How the hell, all those things that I just named to you, all matches with Real Madrid. and it's the opposite of Arsenal. So how the hell can you logically say to me Arsenal have a chance?
When Porto won the Champions League in 2005, and
Again, when they had Mourinho, all my days, who do you have? Arteta. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Ahmed, first of all, you were too young.
Look how long ago they're going back, by the way. Look how long back they're going.
Ahmed, the problem with you is that you don't listen. You don't listen.
I listen very well. You just listen to.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He only listens to response. He doesn't listen to understand anything.
In 2005, because I was alive at that time and I watched that Champions League.
Let's talk about the dinosaurs, then, innit? Let's talk about that.
No one knew who the hell Mourinho was. Someone said they had Mourinho. No one knew who the hell they was. No one knew who Deco was. No one knew who Paulo Ferreira was. No one knew who whatever the defender's name was. Right? They still went through and they beat teams along the way who you just thought they shouldn't have beaten.
He didn't know who Mourinho was until Mourinho won the Champions League.
Exactly. Right. So the point, when you talk about and start bringing out things such as heritage and nonsense, right? I just know that your argument is.
Why couldn't you beat the worst Bayern Munich side in the Champions League?
Oh my goodness! Because that was last year. Each year is different.
Why do you have to go all the way back? And I'm talking about recent, brother.
Oh no! But you
why do you have to go all the way back?
Hold on. You said. Hold on, Ahmed. Here's the thing. You mentioned teams that say this team has won Champions League, so they stand a better chance. This team has won. Okay, so Porto, who's won a Champions League that we beat, on the way to go play Madrid right now, you don't want to give any kudos to beating a team that has won the Champions League that you say is a yardstick for a team to be able to win anybody in Champions League. Like, it makes no sense. Every single thing that you say does not make any sense. It
makes perfect sense. You just got your Arsenal glasses on. That's it. It makes perfect sense.
No, I'm not. Look, I already said it that
I give up.
Madrid has a better chance of beating Arsenal by far. We already know that. And we already said
it's very simple. It's very simple. You guys are going all the way back here when it's
he's right.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on soon. I need to move on from this.
He's right. Just let me move on.
We gotta move on from this. Let me do this super chat, guys. Welcome everybody that joined through the Football Terrace, guys. Let's get to 300 likes. Over 600 people in the house. Hit that like button. You don't care about stats, then why you care about who wins or loses? Basically, the most important stat in football is win or lose at the end. At the end of the game.
But
Real just conceded 4 goals at home against Real Sociedad. 4 goals. You're not going to tell me that Real Sociedad is better than Arsenal.
You know what? Arsenal are going to have a chance because Sociedad scored 4 goals. Yeah, they'll be lucky to even get 1 goal. Like, come on now.
Anyway. Okay. We're moving on to Manchester United. I'm going to start with Ez, Nottingham Forest fan, who was at the game. How shit were Man United? How good were Forest?
Well, I've heard the guys saying that Man United looked good tonight. I didn't see it.
I'm sorry. Didn't you say United were good?
No, that's not my opinion. Do you know who said that? Forest fans. They said that Man United was so bad.
Oh, okay.
United were what we expected. All smoke and no mirrors. You had opportunities. You had the possession. We give teams possession, and we knew you couldn't do anything with it, and you didn't do anything with it. Apart from one chance towards right at the end of the game when Maguire came on, and I missed that opportunity. Unfortunately, I left just before the end of the game. That goal line clearance. You guys, honestly, flattered to deceive, and it wasn't. My only fear was the overconfidence going into this game because there wasn't a single Forest fan I spoke to that didn't expect us to win tonight, and that's just the way things have gone this season. Not only for us, but for you as well. There was no threat coming forward. I don't know what Casemiro's game was. I don't know why Amorim persists with playing him at a centre of your midfield because he was a liability and should have probably be pulled off sooner than he did. And it was just, if you look, what you saw from Forest tonight was what we've done all season. And it's what these big 6 teams are missing, majority of them missing. It's a team spirit. It's a real team bond where every single player relies on the other. And it works. And this is something that Man United haven't seen all season, haven't seen it for decades. And tonight was exactly what I expected. And I think the majority of Forest fans expected. It was as comfortable a 1-0 as we've had all season. You know, I just didn't see a threat from Man U. So I don't know what you guys saw and if anyone saw any different. But for me, it was an easy win for us tonight. There was no competition.
So you left.
And I don't think we got out of second year.
Hold on, you left. Sorry, you left before the game ended. That's how confident you were.
That's how confident I was, literally. That's how confident I was.
Man United fans now, you take over.
Like this.
I'm gonna let Staffy go first. You can go, bro.
Okay, Cam, age-wise.
I hope Cam is
I
Okay.
didn't know that Cam was older. Is that
All right,
that-
all right.
that's not
So
pepper?
I disagree with cool. He's right. They played how they played all year, and that's completely fine. But to say we were no threat at all, yes, just because this is the thing, and I get it. Just because we're not scoring goals, and I completely understand that. For me, I'm watching it from a much different perspective. It's I'm thinking, are we creating chances? Are there opportunities there? Are we playing better? And this is, again, we're in different spots here. And I'm saying, yeah. I'm saying if I had a striker, not named Xerxes, would we have potentially had a goal or two today? Yes. I'm saying we could the whole phrase of gifted them the ball, sure, whatever. I don't agree with that. I think we snatched it. I think we controlled the game from that perspective. I think we were clearly in control. And you beat us on the counter. Listen, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did it for an entire season and won and finished third and did exactly what Forest is doing and made it to finals and did all that, it wasn't acceptable for us. So my thing to United fans now is you have a decision to make. It's you either sit back and chill and let the Amorim system work out, let us get the players we need, or you get upset when we play well and say, well, I'd rather win. It's I was there on the other side saying I was happy when we were winning. I was happy when we were with Staffy can vouch when we were winning with Ollie, when we were there. I was always we won the game. I didn't care about the performances nearly as much as a lot of people do. And at the end of the day, we are moving in a better direction with Amorim at the moment. We have lots of time to figure it out. He's been here for 6 months. Obviously, the kid twisting his face up who thought Sancho was a revelation after 2 months at Chelsea and now looks stupid is going to think the same thing with Amorim. I'm going to call that out. Oh, get rid of him after 3 months. That is absolutely asinine. That is so dumb. You brought in a manager who had none of his players, who had literally the player who looked the best under him get hurt, and our best player. The only person who was scoring goals for us. A lot of things haven't gone great for him, but he's still sticking to his principle. He's still playing his system. You can watch us play. If you're watching the game and don't care about stats, because apparently they don't matter, we look like a team with a direction when we're on the pitch, and that's it. That's where we're at. That is what we need to be content with as United fans right now. Completely agree with the homie who's a Nottingham Forest fan. I am not mad that he said nobody thought they were going to lose. Why would they? They've been better than us this year. They're in third. We're in 13th.
What were your feelings going into it, Cam? Did you?
I thought draw. So by the strength of it, I'm not going to lie. After the first goal, because typically that's when we play better, is actually when we allow an early goal. Our guys actually wake up. If you see a lot of our big games that we've come back in the important games to win, we let the other teams they scored on us first and we came back. I said, based on what I'm seeing, I think we're going to finish with a draw because I thought we did have a lot of control. And I'm one of these chances has to fall our way. Yes, none of them were gilt edge amazing, but it was when you allow that much pressure, you expect something to happen, except with us. So I was okay, we'll probably pull a draw. When we lost, I wasn't oh my God, lose it. I thought by no means did I walk into that game thinking United should be anywhere near a favorite because the table doesn't lie. Nottingham Forest has been good all year. No one scored against. This is the secret. So when
that was our 13th clean sheet this season,
bro. So exactly. So I have Anna, by the way, in fantasy, so I'm fully aware of how fucking good your defense is. So I'm sitting here, and when I hear fans get upset, but we're doing what Amorim said he's going to do and stick to his principles, it makes no sense to me. It's yo, we got to ride this out. We got to get through the storm, and hopefully we can win. We can scam.
Here's the thing, Cam. I agree with some of the things that you said, and I disagree with some of the things that you said. Now, I did think we were going to lose to Forest. I think if I asked everyone here on the panel before the game, what is your prediction? We all would have predicted Forest to win. I think Forest have been easily the better team this season. They're sitting third in the league for a reason. They're better than, I would say, 90% of the teams in the league this season. So that's fine. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to come here after we actually lose and talk about the context of the game. Now, the context of the game annoys me a little bit, and I'll tell you why. I expected to have more of the ball against Forest. That is that's who Nuno is.
Yeah.
I mean, Forest fan, I'm sorry. What is your name again? It's my first time streaming.
Ez.
What is it?
Ez.
Ed?
Okay.
Ezed. Oh, Ezed, sorry. Ez.
Yeah.
Okay. So he will tell you that the majority of the games that they won this season, especially against so-called bigger opposition or bigger name at least, they would have a lot of less of the ball.
Yeah.
And they would still win. Now, I expect that from Nuno. I'm not shocked that we had a lot of the ball today and did nothing with it. You said if we had another 9 other than Xerxes today, we would have won. My counter to that would be, okay, what are the chances that if I look at him and I'm like, you know what, if I had a better striker today, he would have scored that. That would have made more sense. I didn't look at anything today, and I'm not blaming Xerxes. I'm looking at the whole team performance. I saw us have 60-something percent possession in the game. And guys, by the way, Mo left for a few seconds.
Oh, no.
There he is.
There you go.
As I said,
Sorry.
he's back.
That's why I started. That's
That's
why I
was
started
why he's frozen.
That's
Like,
why I started laughing.
I was about to say more blink if you're okay.
yeah, he's not in real life frozen. He was doing something. But anyways,
I was laughing so much at that.
we had 60-something percent possession today, and I'll tell you this: United could have played 180 minutes instead of 90. That's 2 games, and I still wouldn't think we scored. Our closest chance came from a header from Dayo on a corner. That's it. It hit the bar, and that's it. I didn't see anything else.
Bruno's low shot was a chance. Mount barely just.
Yeah, but that's not really a chance. So here's the thing: long shots are never considered chances. It's either a very brilliant shot and it's an individual thing, or that's it. Or if you don't score, you don't score it. It's not a team creation that
And
you
guys,
got
that's not a fluke. That's what we've done all season. We literally hold that block into to that position, and we've teams are taking long shots at us. And there's apart from, I think there's been 1 or 2 long shots that we've conceded this season, but primarily that's what teams have
Yeah, but out of all the players in the Prem that you allow,
That doesn't mean they haven't created the chance.
But out of
That's my
all
point.
the players in the
That
Prem,
doesn't mean they haven't created the
It's not a
chance.
chance created, Mo.
It's the quality.
What about Bruno's simple header that he missed?
Yeah, like Bruno missed the header.
Simple header.
Drogo
Okay,
got
so
it for a
let's
header.
count how many times you thought United really should have scored there. That
They
one,
really should have scored.
No. Two.
Like-
Two.
and I think there was one Casemiro header.
The Bruno shot was too far. The header and the last chance. That's it.
But
That's
would
it.
you, but would
Yeah,
you
obviously the
disagree
Maguire
with
chance.
Bruno
Mostly.
that a chance from the outside of the box, like we fashion those, like Bruno shoots from outside of the box. That is where he scores a lot of his goals. It's not like that's like him taking.
And
a,
you would fancy
like-
someone like Bruno to score that
No,
chance.
that's not how you judge a team's progression. So the reason I'm mentioning that and leave Bruno out of this, this has nothing to do with me criticizing Bruno or not. I'm looking at how many chances this attack created. I mainly want to speak about Garnacho because this kid takes the most shots.
Yeah,
But I swear to God, brother, were you sitting behind the Forest goal? Because listen, I'd be worried for you.
Yeah.
One of those balls, pause, is going to hit you in the face. Because this guy aims for anything but the target. And the audacity to shoot time after time after time after time when he could never hit the target.
Kobe. He's Kobe.
The
Get
kid
a
was
rebound.
atrocious. Don't ever disrespect Kobe like that.
Don't do that.
Kobe is in his grave right now, turning because of that comment that you just made. Never say that again.
You give
I
Kobe
think,
shit.
I think,
so
I think
much.
what Garnacho is missing is before he shoots, he needs to say Kobe, then shoot.
Kobe.
Bro, he just
Yes,
needs to stop
like
shooting. That's what he needs to do. Because
Yeah, it was
the reason this
beautiful.
chair, you hear this? The reason my chair is broken is because of him. It's because
I
every
saw-
time he
I saw-
shoots,
I
I
saw
just
that.
bang on my chair and I break one of them.
But I do want.
But
But this is the thing. Everyone is crashing it on Garnacho, including myself. But the problem is, to be honest, with the United fan base, is that because there's a player they like, they love the way he touches the ball, Xerxes. They completely ignore
No, but
how
I'm not
many.
comparing him
Hold
to
on,
that.
I'm gonna let me
But I
let me
didn't
just do
compare him
this.
to that.
Let me do this. Not you, but the majority of the Man United fans are close. Like they are.
I'd rather have Xerxes in my
Passionate.
team than Garnacho.
Yes,
That's
I
nothing to do
agree.
to this
I
game.
agree. However, how many times Xerxes today have missed simple passes? Just he passed it to the opposition. How many
That's a
times?
lie.
No,
That's a
fine,
lie.
Mo, but if we're gonna make
That's
a
a lie.
direct comparison, the last run of games over the last 7 games, Xerxes had had better performances
That's
than
100%.
Garnacho. Garnacho had 1 goal in about 16 games.
The only thing I would
So if
say
we're gonna
about
make
the
direct
difference is-
comparisons, I could say that.
Bro.
I'm talking about just the 90 minutes.
Yeah,
today.
but I'm talking about the pick and choose which player to crash it on.
But
I
pick
think
and
I'm
choose.
crashing it on the whole team
Listen,
today, so I don't
not
think I'm picking and
you.
choosing anything.
Not you, but the fan base is really picking and choosing who to crash it on.
now,
For
see,
a
the
loss,
pro-
that is
no,
what
but-
it is.
That's how
no,
football
I
is,
think
honestly.
I think that
There's
depends.
2
though.
players. There's 2 players that we should be crushing on. That's 1 Garnacho and 2 Bruno Fernandes. If we're being
Bruno
honest. with you.
Fernandes today.
And I'll tell you why. And I'll
Bruno
tell you why.
Fernandes today.
I'm gonna break it down very simply. Yeah, I'm gonna break it down very simply. The goal that we conceded when Elanga ran through the half, when he ran with the ball and then he slotted it bottom left. Who took the corner? It was Bruno Fernandes. Who kicked it again? Who kicked it again? By the way, Who just slammed it into the box and then it headed to a Nottingham Forest? Bruno Fernandes is the one.
So he shouldn't cross.
So because
Bruno Fernandes, yeah, literally, the minute he took the corner and then it rebounded, he just kicked it into the box loosely. He literally kicked it into the box loosely, yeah. I've seen him. Wait, one sec, because I didn't say anything when you guys were speaking. The guy gives the ball away loosely, right? And he hinders the team, and we concede counterattacks. Why do you think we cannot dominate teams? Because we have a player like Bruno, who I've seen this guy, bro. Mazraoui gave him the ball. The Nottingham Forest player was literally far away from him. He miscontrolled the first touch and got tackled. He gave away a pass, tried to give it to Casemiro. Forest player intercepted. They gave it to Elanga, and then Casemiro tackles him because Elanga took too long on the ball. Bruno Fernandes' awful cross is what led to Elanga hitting on the counter-attack. These things that I'm talking about right now goes unnoticed in games because people are just like, oh, like Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho.
Sorry, Ahmed. Sorry. Stop. I got to stop you there. We all saw him cross the ball. I mean, that's what any player would do in that position.
You do not
blame a crosser, to be honest, for a counter.
Blaming the cross.
You had a corner. You listen. Wait. Sorry. Let me go. You had a corner, right? You have more players in the box at that point than any other time. Of course, he's going to cross the ball. If he
it's the set piece defending that
I'm talking about when it rebounded, instead of taking a touch and controlling it and crossing it in with accuracy and good execution, he just carelessly hits it into the box, hoping it's going to go to someone. I'm telling you about his execution is what led to Nottingham Forest on the counter.
Ahmed, it could have been the best cross in the world. The goalkeeper punches it out, and you still concede that goal. That's the one thing I want to agree with you.
It was played by Milenkovic.
It's the poor defending. The fact that we only had Mazraoui on the line.
Yeah, so you have to defend the fact that, I'm sorry, the Garnacho gets stiff-armed off the ball. Drogu, for some reason, was caught flat-footed and couldn't catch up. And then there's also Mazraoui who got beat. But we're blaming the dude who crossed. How do people take you serious? I'm sorry.
What led to the goal? What led to the goal? What led to the goal? You're a Garnacho fan as well. We had streams together.
No, I'm not.
You're a Garnacho fan. You're a Garnacho fan. No. But the thing is, don't sit here and
don't speak on who you think I'm a fan of because you don't know that.
You rate Garnacho, and now you're like saying,
"No, I do not rate Garnacho."
We know you rate him, and we told you about
Garnacho since I actually talked to you.
We told you about Garnacho that he's a stinky player.
He already said he doesn't rate Garnacho.
No. We told you. No, listen. I told you about Garnacho, and then he's talking about. Listen, Dayo. One sec, Dayo. One sec. Because this guy, I remember what he said. He was banging on about Garnacho, still young. He's got PMP. He can take on his guys. He's direct. This guy stinks, bro. He stinks. He's the worst academy player I've seen in my life. He's the worst player I've witnessed that's actually been overrated. You back Garnacho, and he's been stinking it out. You want to talk about other players like Sancho, when this guy went 25 games without a goal.
Let's not do the Sancho thing today, please. I don't want to speak about Sancho today. I don't give a fuck about
he's talking about Xerxes as well. He's talking about Xerxes. Oh, if we had the striker, bro, Xerxes was our best attacker today.
Again, you didn't hear what I said about Xerxes.
He was our best attacker. He was feeding the ball to Garnacho.
You just did a bunch of lying on my name, so I'm going to rebuke it. Shut the fuck up.
No, you're rattled, isn't it? You're rattled.
Let him respond. Ahmed. Let him respond.
You get on here, you start lying on somebody's name with your.
Let him respond.
Nah, I'm gonna respond. Sorry, this kid drives me nuts. Straight up, just because I said Garnacho is young, facts. He is young. Just because I said he's got pace and power, facts. He does. He is fast. Does not mean I rate Garnacho. If you were in the chat with all the United fans that I'm in, I specifically said when he was up for sale, get rid of him. I was like, I am more than happy. I wasn't one of them, and Staffy can vouch. There's a lot of people saying we don't sell people from the academy. We don't. No. Finish. I'm gonna stop the line on my name. I wasn't one of the people saying we don't sell guys from the academy. I was like, cool. We're gonna get Chelsea gonna give us 60 mil. Sell him because I can be objective, and I don't have to go all the way to saying he's the worst player or this. No, cool. He's not good, but at the end of the day, the fact is, he legitimately is young and he has pace and power. So I said those things. You're right. But that's not me rating this player and thinking he's the best player in the world. Today, I was like Lard. I was going at this kid, talking about how bad he was. Straight up. Him, Drogu, were terrible. I can't even believe the Bruno slander that you brought. It's fine to slander Bruno, but what you brought up is nonsense. And then when you talk about players like
let him respond. Let him respond, Ahmed.
I don't think Xerxes is a striker, plain and simple. I don't care if he's one of our best attacker linking play. Like the guy can't have the ball.
Yeah, he came so deep to link up.
He's not a clinical.
He is a striker.
He's not a clinical finisher. He's not a striker. So for me, if you put a striker in there, when we have more of the ball, my thought process is that striker will make different runs, will put himself in better positions to score because Xerxes doesn't do that. I'm not saying Xerxes is bad. I like Xerxes. I would rather Xerxes on the pitch than Garnacho. So don't put words in my mouth. Like straight up, just don't do that. Like
it's not a lie. It's not a lie because I know what you said. Anyway,
it is a lie.
It's not a lie because with Xerxes,
if you say something stats, I'm right here. So you can say shit when I'm not, but I'm right here. Don't lie on what I said before.
Bro,
I
you
said
literally
Garnacho, but I've never said Garnacho. Yes, and listen, of course I've said Garnacho is young and has potential because he's.
And you said he's a good player and you rate him. You do just because you said.
I said one thing you can't knock Garnacho for is the fact that he scores goals. You couldn't back in the day because he was scoring goals for us. Now he hasn't.
His highest goal tally was 6, by the way. His highest goal tally was 6.
But here's the deal. People's opinions can change as seasons go on. Like, you don't have to be so, now I hate Amorim. Like, cool. When Amorim's good in 2 years, I don't want to hear shit from you because you've
in 2 years. It's the same thing about Ten Hag and he's jobless.
The thing with I gave Aaron Ten Hag his chances.
No, but what I'm trying to say to you, is that with Garnacho, you're saying that his best attribute is his goal scoring. Last season under Ten Hag, when he was given the most minutes, about 37 or 38 games, he averaged about 6 goals in the Premier League. That's not a good return. This season,
so it's at the end of the day, it is what it is.
This season, he's having a stinky season, and I'm telling you that you said you like him. You said he's direct and he's young, insinuating
I like the directness. Yes, I like that he's young. So, but now he's been trash. I can change my opinion. Can I not?
Well, he's always been trash. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
But see, this is where you're wrong. He has not always been trash. He has shown potential. So you can have that opinion that he's always been trash, and that's fine. I didn't have to share it. But in this moment right now, you say you rate Garnacho is not the facts. That's all I'm saying. You can pull like whatever you want from.
You can rate a player and say, I'll take him for 60 mil. That's all I'm saying. You can say, oh, this player, you know what? I like him, yeah. But if someone offers 60 mil, yeah, take him. But you can still deep down rate a player like that. And you're talking about
how do you know that deep down he is the player? Like, how do you know?
Because of how he talks about him. Because of how he talks about him.
Because of the way you talk, can I just assume that you make an ass out of you and me? Like that like you're just basically. You have no capacity.
You are such a Nigerian uncle.
No, I'm saying
you are such a Nigerian uncle.
You're making assumptions about people because conversations should not be based on your assumption because literally
it's not assumption. It's what he said.
Listen, I have sat here on streams, right?
He literally has said that. He said Garnacho's fast and he has potential.
And that's all
so when he's saying he's got potential, he's insinuating that he has the potential to be a solid player.
He's not insinuating anything. He's saying a player is
okay, Mo. If I tell you, Mo. Okay, Ahmed, if I tell you that you have potential, what does that mean?
Ahmed, is Garnacho young? Is Garnacho young? Yes or no?
No, he's 56. Of course he's young. What's that got to do with anything?
Good. So Cam says Garnacho is young. Is Garnacho fast?
No, he's not fast.
Staffy, is Garnacho fast?
No. I don't think he is. No, I think he's admitted that he's fast.
Yeah,
not that quick. It's not that fast.
No, he's not that quick. So, does Garnacho try to drive at his players?
Yeah, he's direct. He's a very direct player.
Now,
I'm direct, and I tried my best. Shall I be a United player? Come on now.
All Cam is saying is he's highlighting this point about a player that he basically says these values are there. Nobody's saying keep the player, but this is who you have right now. This is what you have.
Yes, and what I have right now is not good enough, Dayo. And I think, listen, I'm going to offer a little bit of balance.
Don't agree with that. What I'm
thinking not.
But no one said otherwise. That is the whole point.
Bro. I'm not saying I'm in your head, and I know
that. You're just here to be diplomatic. Let me just say what I'm going to say. Yeah. Listen.
You're talking out of
your just here to be diplomatic. You're just trying to like make everyone. Listen, I know what you're saying.
No, Ahmed, you're talking.
Dayo wasn't even in the stream, bro. I don't know why he's backing it. I don't get it. Like it wasn't even.
I don't watch.
It wasn't even in the stream, and he's just defending it naturally.
Again, that's a stupid.
You built a lot of enemies. That's why.
Just
bro, listen,
made a lot of enemies.
Ahmed, another stupid thing you just said right now. I don't have to be in the stream. I can watch the stream. That's why streams are there.
You watch the stream. I'm still waiting for you when you said I'm gonna find something of a clip, and I'm still waiting.
What are you waiting for?
But anyway. When a guy says. If Staffy or Mo or Cams or anyone says this player has potential, You do not need to be Einstein to know that. You know what? He's basically saying under that statement that he can be a good player. I said to Cams that he is a rubbish player, potential or potential, bro. Whatever word it is. I don't care if he's 19. I don't care if he's 20 or 16.
He's so bad,
17
bro.
or 18.
Like, I'm laughing about it because he's actually so bad.
Bro, how
But
can
I have a perfect example for you. We have a player at Inter called Aslani. None of you here know about. He's an Albanian defensive midfielder. When he first joined the club, when he first joined the club, everyone at Inter, including myself, said this guy has potential. Why? It's the way he plays. We haven't seen enough from him. What we saw is the raw guy. Once he started playing, everyone in the fan base said one thing: this guy is so rubbish. Get him out of the club. The same people were saying, we see something in this kid. He didn't fulfill his potential. That happens a lot in football. A lot in football. Tons of times.
Mo, you gotta
we don't have
understand,
to.
though.
Here's the thing. No, I get what he's saying. He's saying he's always thought he's trash, and that is completely fine. I don't have to agree with him, but that doesn't turn me saying he has potential into that I currently rate this player. That's what I'm trying to say. Just because I said he was direct, he's young, and he's fast. By the way, his top speed.
So if he was getting goals, would you rate?
By the way, his top speed is 20.6 miles per hour. He's the fifth fastest player on United. So as much as you may think he's not fast, the facts are he clocked in at one of the fastest times.
I'm gonna give you the best example. We all of us here are old enough. It is the best example in the last 20 years. Mario Balotelli. Everyone knew this kid had mad potential.
He was awesome.
Mario Balotelli did not feel he was trash in every club he joined. Why? Because he did not develop anything. He had raw potential and he was trash, bro.
We can't
That's
compare
not a good
Balotelli.
comparison, Mo. You're talking about someone who had all the talent in the world and the wrong attitude to make us a footballer.
But that's the whole point. I actually made, normally when you make a point, you make the extreme point just to showcase what you can what
but
can
I don't
happen
see
in
the
football.
parallel in the comparison. You know what I'm saying? Because Garnacho.
But if Cam sits here and tells me, and I'm going to ask Cam straight, when you spoke about the potential of Garnacho, did you think that Garnacho, his potential is like mad potential like Balotelli? Did you think that this guy is amazing?
No, I've never spoke. Listen, I'm on camera speaking about players when I feel that way, and Rashford's one of them. Like, literally, I'm on camera saying I thought Rashford could reach the top of the heights of the world. I've said all that shit. I've been hyperbolic with players when I think I see it. I said the same shit about Jadon Sancho at one point in time. Fucking, that was stupid. I never said I thought Garnacho was going to turn into our permanent. Like, I've never been one of the people, you won't find me saying give him the 7. None of that shit. I figured he could become a player for United because he has qualities that we could use if he ever figures it out. At the end of the day, he is direct. He's young. He is fast. Regardless of what you guys say, his top speed is pretty fast and his average speed is very fast. So
we should have sold Dan James.
That is not a subjective thing. We are
You
not
shouldn't have sold Jadon Sancho.
So Dan James, I said Dan James. So by
No,
Dan James,
sorry, I'm not done. I'm wrapping it all into one. His directness, all that, cool. And the moment all of that turned into we could sell him, I was like, oh, hell yeah, sell him because I don't rate him that highly. If you tell me, if you ask my opinion on selling Manu, I do not want to sell Manu because I believe his potential is of a player you should never
Manu's
sell.
a talent. We know Manu's a talent.
But here's the point. Here's my point. Your point is just because I said I rated him then, I'm now not allowed to be like, well, I don't think he should stick around and sell him. It's like, bro, that's not how it works.
I think we're spending too much time revisiting if Cam rated Garnacho.
I wanted
don't think his
Staffy
opinion on Garnacho in the past is that important.
I know that Ez has to go. There is one topic that I wanted to discuss between Staffy and Ez. If you weren't with us on the football terrace, I know you don't go there. The Elanga thing that I spoke about with Staffy, the Elanga revisionism that some of the people
didn't do revisionism. I said I was okay with us selling him. I said the fact that 2 years later he's better than the wingers we're starting is what I have an issue with. Because 2 years ago we sold him for 15 mil to sign Anthony for 85. Now Anthony is not even in my team today because of how shit he's been. And then Garnacho, we rejected 50 mil for Garnacho but accepted 15 to Elanga. Please tell me who made these decisions. Because if it's the same person, and I don't think it is, because that was under the Glazers and this one was under fucking Ineos. These are sackable offenses. You don't look at both of them today on the same pitch, and you assume that Garnacho's 50 mil and Elanga's 15 mil.
Can I get these points on this? Would he have thrived at Man United?
Yeah. So and also we're doing.
I don't. That's not the point I'm
yes.
making, Mo. That's not the point I'm making. I'm not saying we should have kept him. I said I agreed the fact that I sold him. Okay, Mo, I'll tell you this. If you
Okay.
break up with your girl right now, 2 years later, she's upgraded and you downgraded, you're going to feel some type of way. You're going to be like, how is she doing better than me? Maybe it looks like I was the issue all along. How is she with a better man and I'm not with a better woman?
Now we
That is
agree.
how I'm looking at it with
No,
Elanga.
no, hold on.
We sold
Now
him.
I
We didn't
understand what he's
upgrade.
talking about.
Staffy,
Now
but
I'm
no,
talking-
I would look
now
at
I
it this
understand
way.
what-
If she upgraded in the sense that she's with an uglier dude who has more money or something like that.
Whatever
and
the upgrade
listen,
is,
no, but here's the thing. This is the thing. And like,
Cam,
I-
have some shame. We have Eds here. Have some shame.
I'm trying to show respect to Nottingham Forest. I won't lie. Wolfie sent me last time I was on stream with him. Fuck, he made me hate you.
Oh, Wolf. Oh, no. Don't
Like
talk
he
about
made me. I never even thought negatively about Forest until I met him. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I know. Honestly,
Exactly.
Wolfie is not a representative of the Forest fan base in
here's
terms
the
of
thing
how
about-
we
I
are.
think he's your
Here's
best
the thing about Forest.
representative. He sticks up for the club.
He's my brother. He's my brother.
Elanga went
But
to a team
I don't
that
agree with
better
everything
suited
he
his
says.
skill set. I
Yeah.
actually agree with Staffy on the one part is how the hell did we only get 15 M's for him is the bad part.
That's all I'm
Selling
saying, bro.
him is cool. We had to
It goes
sell him.
back to the
People
point of-
forget about that.
He had to
If,
go.
if Forest
wait.
try to sell him today, you will get at least 30 million for Elanga.
That,
Wait.
Oh, yeah,
Wait.
we're looking
Wait. One
We're
we're
second.
looking 45, 50 plus, but it goes back to that
That's me
potential.
going, bro.
Wait,
That's me going like as low as possible. I'm saying at least 30.
You have to factor in that at the time that you were talking about the kind of restructuring that United was at, where you guys were, who the manager was, who was not using Elanga to his fullest potential, right?
He scored against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, and then I sold him for 15 million. That's gonna drive me crazy. We went to the Wanda Metropolitano, and we sang what's his name? Rhythm is a dancer. And then we saw the 15 million, and people wonder why I'm angry all the time. It's
Yeah,
things like
but
this that gets me
I
angry.
think how angry Chelsea are. We got Callum Hudson-Odoi for 5 million.
So this is the point I'm going to make. This is
No,
the point I'm
Callum
gonna make.
Hudson-Odoi was an absolute flop at Chelsea.
But no, this is
Elanga
the point
wasn't
I'm
flopping.
But it goes back to what you were talking about potential. We saw the potential, and Nuno's system or Nuno's tactics or Nuno's. We talk about team spirit. I've not seen team spirit like it, and I genuinely mean that. And he's got that instilled in them. We didn't have that under Cooper, as much as people said that. In the promotion season, yes, but in the Premier League, there was far too many players that were bought in that first season for him to be able to build any sort of team spirit. So Nuno came in and he changed everything. And you're seeing it on the pitch now. But you're seeing players trusting each other, and that potential was brought out in these players. We saw spells of Elanga under the former manager, but Nuno's given him so much trust. He's played him in different positions. He's played him as a striker at times, a false nine, out on the left, out on the right. He's put so much faith in him, and he's brought the best out of him. And he's done the same with Callum Hudson-Odoi as well, and even Anderson, who we signed from Newcastle. So a lot's got to be said for team spirit and all players singing off the same hymn sheet.
Nuno's the
And you're not
manager of the
getting
year.
that.
Do you think you have, by the way? Do you think you have the best? Do you think you have the third best quality side in the team, like quality wise? Like, do you think that's third?
In terms of individual players?
Forget
No.
about your form. Yeah, forget about your
Yeah,
form.
in terms of individual players, in terms of squad, no. I think we'd be struggling to be a top 10 squad. If you
So he's
base it on-
maximizing the players that he's got, right?
Nuno's the manager of the year.
No, don't do that. I know what you're doing here. You're not slick.
One second.
You're
One
not.
second.
No.
I know he's
doing.
no, but I'm just saying Nuno's the manager
Maximizing
of
the
the year.
players that he got in the summer is different than maximizing the players that you wouldn't want coming in. I know what you're doing, bro.
No, but
He-
the one thing
that's
the
what
one thing
he-
Nuno's done
How
really
many
well.
players did he bring in the summer? There's really only 2 key players that came in.
He's
That
coached
was
Nagati in the
Milenkovic.
past, Sporting, and he's got in Dogu as well. So those are two
Can I-
players.
All right. Wait. Let me
Ugarte
say-
was here before he got here.
So we're gonna finish third because he came in. And he knows 2 players.
We have
No,
a better squad than Nottingham Forest.
No.
Yeah, I
Do
agree.
we?
I
Do
agree.
we actually?
Yes.
Do we?
Pound for pound,
I'll tell you what.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
We do.
okay. I can go
I hate to
one
say
for
this.
one right now. Each player in each position, and you couldn't tell me that they're better than our players.
Okay, we can go for it. Yeah, centre backs. All of our centre backs are better.
The goalkeeper is better than ours.
Yeah,
100%.
Onana. Listen, Onana's a howler one. That guy is not.
Onana's
a goal.
dog shit.
Malenkovic
Yeah.
is better than our second center backs. Who's our next one?
Absolutely. Oh, if we're going off this season, you got to look at the form.
I'm talking
of the
about
players
quality
that
wise. I'm not
are
talking about
Quality
form.
wise, Milenkovic, I would take over Maguire. I would take over.
Why are you naming the worst player that we have?
Martinez. No, but I'm just saying over the players that are seen.
He's
the
naming the
best
center backs
centre
that we have.
Pick your best 2 centre backs.
I think Lemme Euro
If
are
we're
all
gonna do
solid.
this.
Ole now start. Sells would start. The two center backs
No,
would
he wasn't.
start.
Not two.
What do you mean?
The lid starts over.
In a back.
We've got
You might
Mazraoui as
get
well.
Dallo.
We've got
You might
Mazraoui.
get Dallo in.
In a back
And it starts
four.
over Mazraoui.
Mazraoui in a back
better than
four.
Ole.
Nah.
Mazraoui and Dallo in a back four would
Wallahi,
cook.
Aina's better than. I'm sorry. That's I like Mazraoui.
listen, Mazraoui has proved me wrong.
He's been
Mazraoui
great.
has proved me wrong as playing very good.
Aina's been
Ole
unreal.
Aina is the best right back in the league this season.
You're talking
But
about
we-
form wise, and I'm talking about quality wise. I'm not talking about because
Yeah,
form
we're
wise, you might as well put the
talking
whole
about
Forest
quality
team.
this season, though. I mean,
Yeah,
what
but
are we comparing? it
That's
to?
a
What are we
long
comparing it
time.
to?
It's not form. We have
Yeah.
played 30
I'm trying
games
to predict the future
already.
here. We're
Absolutely.
predicting-
We know-
we're talking
we know
about what we've
Ahmed-
seen so
Not
far.
a,
Absolutely.
30
Ahmed,
games
like-
is not a purple patch.
Wait, sorry. So
I didn't say it's a purple patch. I'm saying that they're not. Sorry, I don't know what your name is. The Forest
Ez,
fan. I don't know what your-
Ez.
Ez just told you he's a Forest fan that his team, like quality wise, is 10th, but their managers.
No, he said in
exceeding
the top 10.
He said his
10, right?
players.
Yeah,
His
top
players.
10.
Squad-wise,
10,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And he's exceeding expectation. Okay, Staffy saying, okay, he had this transfer window, but what I'm saying to you, yeah, is a manager, even if he doesn't have his window, he should still be able to get the best out of the current players that he's currently got. He doesn't just magically get a free run, or he doesn't have a transfer window. No,
I think we should be better. I agree with you, but
Because
not
if
to the
I tell
extent that you're saying.
if I tell mid-table clubs like Brighton and flipping Fulham, would you take Lenny Yoro, Heaven and Delit and Mazraoui and Dolo and flipping Casemiro and Ahmed Diallo and
Dolo's
Xerxes? They're like, oh my days, I'm living in dreamland.
Nah,
I'm in
Dolo's
dreamland.
been terrible.
I really
Can
would.
you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah. Dolo's been
Yes,
bad.
we can.
Finally, Jesus
Just-
Christ.
Nobody's just paying
He's not
attention to what you're saying.
Damn
Nah,
it.
he was
bro.
just on mute.
No, but to be fair, I don't think it's the full team, but I think there's a lot of players. Like Aina would take in our team. Milinkovic, I think, could make it in our team. I think Morgan
100%.
gives White walks
I
into our
think
team.
Forest, listen, they're fortunate because of a lot of drop-offs this season. I want
Yeah.
to have them third again next season.
No, I don't
look
either.
at
I
how
don't
my
either.
team is performing.
I don't
Honestly,
either.
their front line all by itself is better than our front
Wood,
line.
but hold on, Wood's numbers is kind of crazy. Like, and as you
Yeah.
would know this, the
Um,
underlying data behind Wood literally
It's
scores
ridiculous.
if he gets
Yeah.
a chance. That's it.
Yeah.
Like he gets one chance and he scores. It's actually crazy when you look at the data behind what Wood's doing, and that's not something that's feasible moving forward. But you're a Forest fan, you're going to take it. Like you're not going to be like, oh well, like
100%.
take away the
Oh,
fact that he scores every chance. It's happening. So this is the thing where I think Nuno for me is manager of the year because things like that are happening. Like those things happen because the managers figured out how to make them happen. And I understand I get what Ahmed's saying. Like our manager's underperforming, but the circumstances are nowhere. Staffy's right. It's nowhere near the same. You can't compare the situations. Next year, we can be on his neck. I will be there if next year we're into December and we looked like trash and he's had a whole preseason, brought in his players. Yes, I will be
Ken,
on
they
his neck.
built a perfect transition team and they got a transitional manager.
Yeah.
That was a good match anyways. We got a manager that's not a match to the team that we have. So you can get rid of them all you want, but you still got to clean up this team and you still got to build a team
But
anyways.
Staffy, you know how you said. No, I hear what you said. You know how you said like you don't like this, like kicking shin midfield, like stuff like that. You don't like that in the
Shit,
midfield.
midfield, bro.
Okay, I
hate
agree
this
with you. I
midfield
agree
no
with
matter
you.
what.
I agree. I swear to you, he would if it was up to Amorim, he'd have Ugarte, Mason Mount, and all them high, tenacious, flipping tackle and fight for the badge high.
He wouldn't have
That's
Casemiro
what they
there.
do.
And he would
That's
actually
what
have a
we-
ball progressor. There is a reason, and this is not a coincidence. I'm so tired of the Casemiro. I don't even hate Casemiro like that. It's just what you guys build him up to be. Today, Casemiro goes out of the midfield. Bruno drops deeper, and we start looking better again. This is not a Casemiro hate thing. A midfield of Casemiro and Ugarte is a match made in hell. They're two shin kickers. One of them can't pass, and one of them, all he likes to do is pass long balls. None of them are press resistant. It's a shit midfield. And then everyone saw it today, and they're like, oh, finally, Amorim's playing our best midfield. Then he puts them on the pitch,
said
and they
that?
don't create shit.
Who said that?
It is not a coincidence.
It's all over Twitter. Okay.
We start looking better.
I
don't
don't think-
like
I'm not on
Bruno
Twitter that much
anyways.
anymore.
I don't even want to move forward with Bruno. I still said no matter how good he's been, if Real Madrid come in and they offer a 60, 70 mil, wallahi, I will bite their hand off because we're never going to get a decent time to sell him, to especially a team that he can go and win at and actually use that money and rebuild with. But when you look at our midfield is dog shit, bro. They don't complement each other. They can just work in certain games. There's a reason why they cooked Real Sociedad, who had zero physicality. And then today, yes, we had the ball, but what the fuck did we create? There's nothing in that midfield to create anything. And it doesn't help you when you have fucking Garnacho running on your left and Dayo running on your right, who doesn't want to cross the ball. And Dorgo had a stinker. To be fair, I'm not going to be that harsh on Dorgo. I think he's played some good games this season. But he missed the last 3 games in the Premier League. And he's good.
So-
You guys need, you
so
need
can
to
I say-
bring,
can I-
you need to bring Mason Mount back.
No, let's not do that.
I don't even mind when we send out like that. He's not even.
He subbed off. Yeah, he subbed off Xerxes. This is why this is a huge red flag. Yeah, this is a huge red flag. Subbed off Xerxes here, who created an opportunity for Dorgu. I think he was.
I didn't
making
want
a run
Xerxes
away.
to come off, so at least
No, I agree with you, Staffy. I agree. No, but what I'm saying to you is that he made some good passes. He was linking the play, good touches here and there. Haldi was giving the ball away like that. He kept everything ticking. He did as much as he can in the circumstances he was given. Right? He took off Xerxes and he kept Garnacho, and everyone can tell you that he was having a stinker. His substitutions are poor, and who he brought on. Did you see Xerxes, by the way? He was fuming. So like he's bringing on like the wrong players in. Like,
So there's a couple of things I'll say. First of all, on Elanga, right? Staffy, unfortunately, if you remember like the season before he left, he was awful for you guys. Like
wasn't awful.
it was there was a game
was
where
mid.
No, there's a
All
game where he
four
cleared,
mid
I
are two
remember
different
I remember there's a game where he cleared the ball off the line and United fans were going into him. And his Elanga, and his confidence was absolutely shot at United. He had to leave it up.
Clear the ball off the line.
Yeah,
our
like the
line
ball was
or
going in. Your own line. Yeah, you were scoring a goal and he somehow cleared the ball off the line. Like you
No, he
missed the
didn't.
chance. So you couldn't. Yeah, he did. Go back and watch. That's the last season. His confidence was at the floor.
no one really gassed Elanga at United like that. Like I know
Ranić loved him. Ranić was starting him over Rashford.
He was.
Yeah. In that 4-2-2, he was playing
He
him.
loved
Yeah.
him, yeah.
Well, yeah, but towards the end, trust me, I can remember. Maybe I can't remember as clearly as I think I can, but I'm pretty sure his confidence was absolutely shot.
He was
And
mid.
basically,
I'm telling you, he
And
was
everyone
mid.
else Gabriel. So
I don't think
it
mid
was like,
means bad.
and sometimes it's one of those things where like someone comes with a bid and you just go, the player just has to leave because he's not going to be part of the future anymore. His confidence is shot. So he had to go. So that's one thing. On Amorim, I will say this. The problem I have with Amorim is that he's not making you hard to beat. Like from every now and then, you look like you're hard to beat. Like when we played us,
We didn't lose in our last 7.
I know, but what I'm saying is you don't look hard to beat. So and sometimes if you're not going to win a game, you got to look solid, defensively solid. And like you said, sometimes when you have different midfield combinations, sometimes it looks a little bit easier to get through you. Sometimes, like I just think that basically, he came in halfway through the season, just be boring as hell. Do what Ten Hag did. Be boring as hell. I know people say don't change your system.
No.
Don't change your
About
style.
that. We don't
Get through the season because this season is the write-off. This season should have been a write-off from when Ten Hag was sacked. Just make yourself hard to beat and then rebuild it. Because also, I hear this a lot from United players about the system, and I'm always like, well, United fans want to sell like 70-80% of their players. So it doesn't matter if they're used to the system or not, because you want to get rid of all of them, right? If you're going to get rid of all of them, like we did, Arsenal's a perfect example. We played a 3-5-2 for 2 years because Arteta's vision was to get rid of all these players and then bring his own players and get them used to the system he wants to play. So in a way, actually, rather than losing, you're on course to lose 20 games this season in the Premier League. That is crazy to think about.
We're not going to
That's
lose
not
7.
just on Amorim. Either I got a dip because
Yeah.
I got a baby that I got to take care of. I couldn't just pass off like Dayo. Good job.
I feel the pain.
But thanks for having me on, Mo. We'll do it again. I don't know how you get me to lose my shit every time. I'm much more headed than that. But yeah, big up everybody. Peace out. And
We'll see you, Kev. See you, Kev.
So Staffy, just very quickly, I'm just going very quickly. So you've lost so far. You've
13
lost
in the
13
league.
games.
We're not going to
13
lose
games.
7 of our last 8.
No, it's not.
I mean, if you look at some of the teams you've got and the way some
We're not going to lose 7 of our last 8. Stop
I'm
it.
just saying to you, it's possible. It's possible for you. But even reaching,
If we
reaching.
lose 7 of our last 8, I'll give you whatever you want.
I want to say something. I want to piggyback to the conversation that you guys had about Nuno Espirito Santo versus Amorim. Supposedly, on paper, there is a massive difference between the two coaches, resume-wise. Amorim won leagues. He was wanted by Liverpool. He was wanted by big teams. Nuno Espirito Santo, people are saying he's punching above his weight and he's making use of the squad very well. If that is the case, Ahmed is right. Amorim is not utilizing anybody because based on your logic, Staffy, and Ahmed's logic, and a lot of Man United fans, you guys have better players than Nottingham Forest. And
No, but
Amorim
I
is
just said I
doing
don't
way
agree with
worse.
that. But I just said I don't agree with that. Bro, you don't
You
understand.
you
how
disagree
low
with
I
that
rate-
because Oh, okay. So you disagree with
You don't
this. So there's
understand
a
how
lot of
low I
people
rate this team.
that still
Chris
think
Wood
that
will
Man
start for
United
me.
fans.
But Chris Wood would start for me. Callum Hudson-Odoi would start for me.
Gibbs
Ahmed with
White would-
healthy, he would start. Okay,
Gibbs
the
White would
midfield.
start.
I'm sorry.
Gibbs White would start.
Yeah, I was gonna go to the midfield. Gibbs White would start for me.
Elliot Anderson would start. With all due respect to all
Anderson,
your midfielders.
Yates, you can have that conversation between him. I mean, Cam just
I-
left. I would have
I
loved
would
him to be
start-
here.
I would start for you.
Ugarte is so fucking mid. I don't understand
No.
why people love him. Habibi, I don't like Casemiro, and Wallah Azim, when we got linked with him in the summer, I was like, he's not even better than Casemiro. I don't want Casemiro, and we're getting someone worse than him. What is this? He is so. The fact that we paid 50 million for him just to run around and kick shins, absolutely embarrassing. And then you go to the back line and the goalkeeper. Honestly, Milinkovic, is he worse than De Ligt? I don't think De Ligt is that great. You can have a conversation between them. I know we'd probably start first if we had a right back. Who am I taking from our back line to start over there? Probably Yoran Mazraoui. That's about it. The goalkeeper is better than our goalkeeper.
You wouldn't be saying
you're
that.
talking about at least a 50-50 ratio when I'm making these comparisons.
You wouldn't be saying them type of plays if it was last year when Forest was 16th. Just saying.
No, but they changed a lot of their plays.
Okay, so is Nono better than Amorim then?
It's not about being better. It's that he knows how to maximize the plays that he's got right now. That's it. Like
Why
he's
is
just,
it- why isn't Amorim?
Amorim's not doing it because he's naive and stubborn.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think
You know
Nuno
what?
is
On
that
this
type of
one,
manager.
can I just
I
say,
put Nuno in that category with the likes of Unai Emery and them who come in, maximize the best out of the team because they don't do anything that's so like so impressive about
Better
their
than-
teams. Like they're not coming.
better?
They're like, oh, I need a style of play. Like, no, we know how you're gonna play. You're gonna be hard to beat. You're gonna play in the transition. Give him some good fast wingers. Give him a 10 that can carry the ball, and there you go. There's a reason why he went to Tottenham and he failed over there because he tried to build a project over there and it wasn't a good match.
we
For
haven't
him.
got the patience
But-
for it now. We haven't got
Say that again.
patience.
Sorry.
Spurs didn't have the patience for that project, but if they'd stuck
Yeah,
out with
Spurs
him,
hype. I'm actually dissing them for that.
Yeah.
So do you rate the Arsenal team? Staffy? So
Hold on,
do-
can we get Iz's? Let me get Iz's point.
yeah, just my last point on this, and then I'm gonna bow out, guys. But I'm kind of agreeing with Ahmed on this because if I was a Man U fan, would be my annoyance. That yes, he's been dealt this hand, but he can't play another formation other than 3-4-3. He can't deal with the plays that he's got and maximize what he's got just till the end of the season. And then
But that's not what you brought him for, and this is why I always blame
Yes.
Ineos. You
But
should have
Staffy-
never. It was
Staffy, you wanna
not the
get-
right match.
You want, but Staffy, but you want to get rid of Ugarte,
that I hear.
right? You want to get rid of Ugarte. You might get rid of Bruno. Might get rid of Casemiro. You're up front, apart from Ahmed Diallo.
Bruno's staying. He's going
I
to
know,
stay.
I'm
I
saying
can get
Never
rid of
mind,
all of them. I'm
only
just
plays
saying why
one
don't we?
formation. That's my point.
Can I say something? Can I say something, guys? Based off the same manager's formation,
Let Olu finish. Let Olu finish. Let
Okay,
Olu
Olu
finish.
finish.
I'm just saying. I just want to go through those teams. You want to get rid of Højlund. You want to get rid of. Okay, you might like Xerxes. You might not like Xerxes, right? So really, only one player. You obviously want to get rid of Rashford, right?
How about an
And maybe
overload? I know I won't get it, but I know I
I'm
want
just
an
I'm
overload.
saying, ideally, right? You want to get rid of Onana. So and really maybe the back three, and you might want to get rid of Dayo as well. So there's a high probability that 70% of this team should leave. Sometimes you just have to look at and go, if we need to get rid of this deadwood and they're not part of the future, and you're talking about 3 years, 5 years, you take a short-term hit for a long-term gain. And maybe part like what
What
is
is changing the system was going to do today, though, Olu? Today has nothing to do with the system. Today was
I
quality.
agree. I do agree with this. I agree with today, right? I mean, you should have done a little bit more on that. But I'm just saying, in other games as well, and I keep referencing number of defeats. Just with how you've played this season, maybe sometimes just you say we switch up a little bit, make ourselves harder to beat. That's
You
all.
switch up a lot this
Yeah,
season.
but
It's a myth that he doesn't switch up.
let's give kudos to this man where kudos is. He came in halfway through the season, regulated the team to the best he could, even though they're losing at the point. But the last 7 games, they haven't lost up until today.
That's
so
true.
let's call a spade
That's
a
fair.
spade and say that.
Yeah, let me.
To sit here and say he's not utilizing
The
the
standard is in Jahannam, bro. The
Now,
hell,
the
man.
standards that you're
This
rating,
is what your club
They're
is
not the
at.
reality.
let me just finish. See, the standards that you're rating
That's
him
it, man.
with right now is you're looking at him as what United has achieved and who United are, but you're also not giving the context of the fact that he doesn't have the quality players that he needs to play his own style. Even though he has players that are not up to that standard, he's playing his style and he has picked up to a certain extent where, for example, today, let me say this.
Yeah.
I, looking at Nottingham Forest and looking at United, expected Nottingham Forest to beat United 3-0. I predicted 3-0. The fact that United came out with 1-0. I'm like, you know what? I didn't watch the game. I just looked at the scoreline and I was like, I'm going to go watch the game again. But the fact that it was 1-0 from what I heard the scoreline, I was like, United, this guy is doing something with what he has. That's the way I look at it. So from this other side, it's like, look, he's coming halfway through the season. Let him ride the season out. Don't get relegated. Try to climb up the table as much
You're
as
not
you
gonna
can.
get relegated. We're
I'm
20
not-
I want to do the super chats before because I know there's a lot of you that have to go. So, guys, we cannot have over 500 people still here, and we're not even on 200 likes. A like button looks like thumbs up. It helps the channel. It helps the algorithms. Hit that like button underneath your live chat, guys. Let's get to 200 likes at least before we end the show. And all these guys' channels are in the description. Staffy TV, Forest Fan TV, AA United, banter on the pitch as well. So hit that like button. Let's get to 200 likes in the next 5 minutes. AMT saying the way Man United plays is like the way this Man United fan with the Fellaini looks talk about football.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, this guy's got no picture in it, so he might look like a lamppost. Who knows in it? So
I think they're
You're like
jealous
that.
of your long hair, Ahmed. I'll be honest.
No, he needs to cut his hair so he can watch the game properly because I think it blocks his vision.
Nottingham Forest have
You think his
13
hair is
clean
getting in his
sheets.
eyes?
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest have 13 clean sheets. Man United have 13 losses. I think that is good.
I'm not
If
happy
you
about
told
that.
anyone 10 years ago that this would happen, people would laugh at you.
I'm not happy about that because Nottingham Forest, I think your goalkeeper is going to get the golden glove. And that's the only thing we could have won this season.
He's the best goalkeeper in the world, in the
deserved
league,
it.
actually. Go
Dude.
to Mark's stat and see Nottingham Forest stats about their defensive line, average position. The way they play isn't sustainable long term, like Erik ten Hag 22-23, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 20-21.
I disagree with
RB,
this.
listen, RB is one of my guys.
I'm
that
just gonna
mentioned.
I'm just gonna say this, right? About Nottingham Forest. Everyone that thinks that Nottingham Forest cannot go seasons playing defensive football and transition-based football is naive. I have seen teams, maybe it wouldn't win them the league. It wouldn't win them.
No,
the-
Exactly.
We saw,
Yeah,
no,
but-
I disagree with you.
But hold on. Nottingham Forest can win cups, can
Yes.
have their place in the top 5. They wouldn't win the league playing like this.
No,
But
they could.
everyone that said that they're
They
gonna
could.
fall off,
They can't, bro. Though,
not in this,
They
not
could.
in
Let
this,
me
not
say- I'll give you
in
an
this
example.
era.
I'll give you an example. Leicester did it. Leicester played transitional football.
Leicester
Get a
did-
ball.
You can't do that.
Yeah,
I'm just
that-
saying
you can't
to you,
get
They
the
win
did it.
exception.
lottery.
They did it.
That's a sustainable blueprint on how to become
doesn't
rich.
matter.
If someone
But
comes to me and says, "Steph,
Yeah,
how do I
but
become
Olu,
rich like you?" And I say, "Play the lottery."
This person
Staffy,
says, Olu, this person
Staffy.
says sustainable long term. Let's start
It doesn't matter. No. Staff
That's
no,
the
for
other thing.
listen,
That's the
They got
other thing.
relegated 2 seasons after. What are you talking about?
Until they play. No, they won the FA Cup 2 seasons after.
Yeah,
All right,
they
so
won
they
the
got
league.
relegated 3 seasons after. It doesn't
Olu,
matter.
what is-
And
what
in
is-
4 years, they got relegated.
Olu, what is long term?
Fulham won't win the FA Cup playing
No.
this way. I'll tell you that. They'll beat City and they'll win the FA Cup. But
The
Mo's
problem-
spot on when he says you can't win the league. Like, you're not eventually going to build a team that outmuscles a team like, let's say, City in their prime, Liverpool in their prime, even the Arsenal that we've seen over the last 2
Yeah,
years. If
not
there's a
gonna
title race between the Arsenal I've seen over the last couple of years and Forest, they're not going to win the league. But you could win cups with it.
And
that is
you
literally
can
Wait.
you can stay top 5 with that style, by the way.
Wait,
You
Guys,
can.
100%.
wait,
100%. But we can take that next step.
guys, you just said to me, you can't win the league, and I just gave an example. That's all I was saying.
I know.
I just give an example.
Give me one
Listen, General.
I can give you so many examples when it doesn't work.
Not in this era.
The weakest league I've ever seen, where Leicester won and everyone else was dog shit. Come on,
This is
they were in
it,
a
but
title
that
race
can't
with
happen.
Spurs. Do you understand what it means to be in a title race with Spurs? It means everyone else was dog shit.
At the end of the day,
all I
Staffy,
did was
here's
one
something else.
example.
Olu, here's something else that we also have to look at. I think a lot of teams underestimated Nottingham Forest this season. You heard statements from the beginning of the season like, "Oh, come December they'll fall off. Come January they'll fall off." Like, or they'll have a couple of injuries. Or Chris Wood is playing out of his skin. He can't sustain it. Sustainability long term is a difficult thing playing this way, but in the short term, before teams figure you out, Nottingham Forest can definitely do a lot of damage,
Well,
even
okay.
win stuff. And
And-
let's
Can I be serious on that? One second.
This is
One
so like,
Wait,
disingenuous.
Wait.
No,
I'll
in
be-
the short term,
one
what I'm
second.
saying,
One
more,
second,
hear
wait.
what I'm saying.
No.
No, I'm talking about Olo's take.
Let me
So like,
Let me respond to that.
Olo-
Because
Olo-
when it comes, so a part of me is trolling, obviously, but actually, I do
Yes, of
believe
course
that. Obviously, it depends on also how Nottingham Forest also replenish the players they have, right? If they keep the same team for 5 or 6 years, of course, it'll be difficult to do so. But if they bring in players and add to this onto this team, they've got a solid base to work off, right? It's not like they're getting ripped apart. They've obviously got a solid defense. They're not conceding many chances, and they can hit you on a break. If you have more and more quality to that, it can be sustainable. Now, would it
100%.
be? Could it be like they're blowing teams away. No, I don't think that's Nottingham Forest. They're not
No.
built for that right now. But you keep adding players to this, and that's one thing sometimes as football fans we fail to see is the background that's being built. And I think Nottingham Forest this season have got a very good platform to build off.
Well, they've
And
got
in
a
the
solid,
first review
they've
of
got
the
a solid foundation, and I'll tell you why I think they have a solid foundation. I predicted them to fall off come December, and they did not. Which means that whatever it is that Nuno built has withstood the test of time. That tells you that the manager was doing something right with the players. He's getting, even when Chris Wood is out and he brings in what's this other guy's name?
Awoniyi, yeah.
Like he finds a way to use his players the way he needs to use them. Now, I have to give kudos to him because he's built a foundation. Imagine having quality players. Imagine having a
Honestly, Awoniyi is
Drogba
horrible.
as an Awoniyi. Imagine having like a Drogba. And then imagine changing your defense to having the quality of players like what Chelsea had back in the day, defenders like John Terry and Co. I know they don't exist right now, but if they had that, that is sustainable. But for now, because that quality is not there, what they can do in the short term is do a lot of damage, probably win a couple of things. And if they don't replenish, like you said, that's not sustainable. That's all I'm
And
saying.
it's not just the replenishing as well, Oru. One of the key things about this, how the season ends, is getting that Champions League place by hook or by crook, because the main thing is to hold on to the players that we've already got, the likes of MG Dub, likes of Murillo, who the types of players that others are interested in. Giving us Champions League football next season gives us a better chance of holding on to those players, and then you add to it. And I can see, listen, I'm sure Wolfie's spoken about this. We've got one of the best owners in the league, without a doubt. He's got the money, and he's not, you've seen already, he's not scared to spend it. Now, take the reins off him a little bit now with the Champions League money and anything else that's going to come. I think he'll be looking to break the bank again. Anything's going to hold him back. It's just attracting those players. And what you got to attract is the vision. And obviously, we're a club that most of you guys haven't seen us in the top flight. You know, I'm in my.
Van Hooijdonk.
I'm in my late 40s.
Pierre Van Hooijdonk.
I'm gonna last. Okay, guys, I gotta do this.
Don't worry about it.
Ty on AFTV said Arsenal 2, Real Madrid 0. I love Ty. Big up Mo. I think we'll have to wait and see. It's only 1 week. But listen, people, this has been an absolute fantastic show. Debut for Ez. Great, joining by Staffy, of course. Dayo and Olo. Congratulations, Ez. Congratulations, Staffy and Ahmed. It's nothing new. I don't get the rage from some people, which is, I get what stuff is coming from. It has been happening. 13 losses, no banter, but it has been the standard for now. Olo, let me in the stream.
Never. I have to.
You always interrupt me in the stream.
You know this is the way it happens. Anytime I'm streaming, I have to interrupt you. Easy. Can you just give me some props for remembering Pierre Van Hooijdonk? Come on, man. That's a classic.
Hold that for some
please.
Oh my God, guys! Like the video. Let's get to 200 likes before we end. This is gonna take you to Sarcasm City TV, where Flawless is gonna break down the game. We'll see you guys there.
Like the video because Tottenham is
like the video, guys.
Respect.